You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.FM network. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. Breaking news. Something's happening in Oregon. We know that. Mainstream media somehow reported something. We have the Bundys, the Bundys, the brothers, all the way from Nevada, went there to try to help the Hammonds, the family, the two family members, father and son, that are going to jail right now, federal prison, not even jail. I already talked about this on the show several times. I had several guests. Now, something is coming to a new level of intensity. I'm not there. This time I'm not there. I'm here on the station. But I have a person that I respect a lot, and also I met during the Bundys last year. We were together standing in the line. He's a man from Michigan. His name is Ken Rhoades. And he drove all the way to Oregon to see what's going on right now. And I would like to hear from Ken. I trust Ken. Ken is a friend. He's also a person who I respect and always says the truth. So I don't want to just say anything, but I would like to start to let Ken Rhoades talk about it. Ken, are you there?
I'm here, Luca, and thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Give me the chance. The first thing I want to clear up, Luca, is that they said the Hammonds didn't want us here. The Hammonds didn't. The Hammonds were scared to death. They were put under tyranny for the last 30 years by the BLM. And they were told, if you keep talking to Alvin Bundy, we will come pick you up early because they're supposed to turn this stuff in, which they did this morning in, I believe it was San Diego.
Wow.
They said, if you keep talking to Alvin Bundy, we'll come get you early and put you in a less desirable prison.
Wow.
Now, you got to understand this man is 74 years old, and he didn't want to be in a less desirable prison, which he should have never been in the prison the first time they put him in, which is like, I think it was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
They come out and they charged him as being a terrorist. Well, they didn't charge him at that time. They charged him for backburning on the ranch, which all the ranchers do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the second time when the judge said this is harsh and unusual punishment, he gave the older Bundy, 74 years old, not Bundy, excuse me, the Hammond. He gave him 3 months. He gave the son a year. They served that time.
Wow.
In which they say they paid for the crime. I don't think they committed a crime, but that's my opinion. They come back 12 years later and charged them with as terrorists in the United States ranchers. Been here for 40 years. And they charged them as being a terrorist and took it back into Ninth Circuit Court and got the judge there to say, no, they got to do their full 5 years.
Wow.
So that means the man at 74 now has got to go back and do 4 years and 9 months, I guess it would be. 9 months. And the other one has got to go back in and do 4 years more because it was a 5-year minimum. But the first federal judge that sentenced him didn't think that was appropriate. So the BLM went back in and they're just literally destroying these people's lives. Now I'm going to tell you why they're doing it. They charged them $400,000 fines.
Wow.
They paid $200,000 of it. If they didn't have these fines paid before they went to jail, the other $200,000 of that fine, then the BLM had the first right to buy the land. Now, what does that sound like to you? It sounds to me like they're hoping they couldn't pay it. I don't know who paid it, but somebody stepped up and paid the $200,000 fine before they had to go to jail this morning.
Wow.
But now that leaves the women to run this ranch without any men, no father, no son to run it. Now the BLM is hoping they can't make it, and they also put restrictions on them. If you spend over $500 for anything, you got to get it approved by the BLM.
My
now,
God.
That's so if they get ready to buy a piece of equipment they had to have, it's over $500, the BLM says, no, you can't spend that money.
This is like
this is a sad day in America, Luca.
This is like a time this is like the time, excuse me if I interrupt you, this is brutal what you're just telling me, disturbs me to the bones. I mean, it's like the time during the kings and lords. I mean, seriously, this is like the time of the kings and lords, okay? Not even King George used to do this crap on us.
Now, I want to give the time frame. Right now, this show is being recorded. This segment is being recorded. This is January the 4th, okay, 2016, and it's Monday, and it's exactly 9 o'clock p.m. Arizona time. Today was an intense day, okay? You told me that the father and son, did they go to prison right now, right? I mean, they got picked up?
Yes, they turned themselves in this morning. And the reason they said that they would not stand up for their rights, and you know what, I hate that they didn't, but I can understand it. But for people to say they didn't want to help, they said they knew the townspeople would not back them. And you know what? And Burns argued they were 100% right. We came up here last, I think it was Friday, and we had a march out of the. I don't know how many people they got in this town, maybe 6,000 I've heard 4,000, so I really don't know. But either one, we only had about 40 people from Burns that went on the march with us, yet we had almost 400 people.
Wow.
We marched from a Safeway grocery store up the road to the Hammond's house, past the sheriff's department, but this sheriff is everything but constitutional.
Yeah.
I came up here a month ago, Luca, and talked to him. And he sounded like he's going to be a great sheriff. You know, stop this and let's get a hearing on what really happened. Because when the Bundys said they started, I keep saying Bundys, excuse me. When the Hammonds admitted in court they started the fire, it was a backburn. It got out of control. It burned 130 acres of BLM land. Big deal. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of acres. But the jury was not allowed to hear why they started the backfire. They would not let that come into court. So the jury said, well, they're being charged with starting a fire, and they admitted they started a fire, so they found them guilty.
Wow.
I mean, our court system is so corrupt, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I mean...
Now I'm going to get back...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Luca.
No, well, go ahead, please, finish.
I'm going to get back to the march. We had almost 400 people, but just like Bundy Ranch, the people around there wouldn't stand for Mr. Bundy. What happened? People like you, Luca, me, and all over the United States that came to their defense. Well, we came to their defense last Friday, I believe it was, and we had our march. We went up to the Talman's house, and everybody wanted to go up and hug him and his wife, and they came out on the porch and they hugged everybody, and they were actually crying because they knew they were being screwed. They said that word that to me is very appropriate for what they were getting. So. They all hugged them, then we marched through the town and went back to the Safeway store. But we had almost 400 people coming from all over to back him. Now the town is starting to turn. They're starting to say, you know what they're doing to the Bundys is not right. I mean the Hammonds. But Mrs. Hammond told us that 40 years that she knew all these people, and when they started having their fight with the BLM, that all the people in this town would cross the street so they didn't have to look at her and talk to her. So naturally they felt like the town was against them.
Yeah.
So it's just a sad day, and every small town in America is the same way. Until they knock on your door, they're not going to do anything.
Exactly.
So, say something.
I have a couple of questions for you, Ken. First of all, did you have a chance to talk to any of the Hammonds in person?
No, I didn't, but I was right there taking pictures when people were, talking to them. I honestly, I didn't.
Okay.
Because when I came up here a month ago, I didn't want to, to go in on them, and I wish now I had it, but I didn't want to disturb them.
So
but I should have it.
I understand. Now, did you have a chance to talk to Hammond Bandy? I know that he's there. I was trying to get him today. I'll probably talk to him tomorrow. Did you talk to Hammond to Hammond Bandy?
Yes, I did.
How's it doing?
As you know, I'm very close to Hammond Bundy.
Yes. Remember, we met him there at the beginning. Now, my only question is this. You told me that, and I understand, most of the community, it really doesn't know what to get involved. They are almost afraid, or maybe they're just apathetic. I don't know. You think this community is afraid to speak up, or maybe they're working for the government? What is exactly? I know there are probably many jobs out there that are given by the government. I don't know the situation. Never been there. What do you think?
Okay, now we had town meetings, and people spoke, and people from the city came out. Mm-hmm. Yes, this city is probably 60% employed by the federal government.
Wow.
So that they know if they speak out, that they'll be ostracized and and lose their job or whatever. Now, on top of all that, businesses even came, some of the owners, and they said if they speak out, that their customers won't come in. They're afraid to lose their customers.
Wow.
I always say, there is do what's right, and you'll always be right. No matter what if they don't come into my little store and spend their dollar, then that's the way it is. I just assume they didn't come in if they can't stick up for another human being.
No, I understand. It's terrible. It's like the mafia. Worse than the mafia. I think the mafia, they got more ethic. Now, I have a couple questions for you. I mean, this is getting kind of a new level. I think it's different from the Bundys standoff, in my opinion. I mean, I see the Bundys standoff. First of all, the Bundys, they wanted to stand together. They asked for help, okay? Here, the Hammond, if I understand, for what you told me, even they know that they've been screwed. Unfortunately, they don't want to fight it anymore, and they try to cut this deal to find this sort of a compromise, I guess, going to this federal prison. Hopefully, they're going to get a special room that's not going to get raped every day, like normally you can do if you go to a federal prison without any type of, without being a real criminal. So they're afraid. They chose to go to jail, to prison, and they didn't want the help. Now, still, I see Hammond, and many of you guys, you're still there. Now, at this point, since the local population, for what I understand, they are pretty much part of the machine. They work for the government. They don't want to get involved. They're afraid. They're cowards, whatever you want to call them. They are slaves. Why you think, in your opinion, is still good to be there? And at this point, especially for what I heard, I didn't talk yet to Hammond, but what I read on the news, this taking over, or at least this occupying peacefully so far, because peacefully, but still, occupying this federal office in this wildlife retreat or whatever it is considered like they call it an act of terrorism. So I think the federal agents, now they're storming there. Did you see any federal FBI agents or any type of federal agents there?
No, not yet. Not yet, we haven't.
What is...
Why people say, why do you stand up for somebody who won't stand up for themselves? Okay, I'm gonna give my opinion of this. If you've seen a woman that's been raped so many times in the park and a guy was raping her and she couldn't do anything for herself, would you still stand up for her?
Mm-hmm. I would.
If you didn't, you'd be a coward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 72 years old, and no matter what I had, if I had to just throw my weight on the guy, you got to take up. You still got to stick up for people if they've been oppressed and beat down. That's me. But most Americans are not that way. Well, I ain't one that's getting raped, so I'm gonna walk on by like I didn't see it.
Okay, I understand.
It's very sad.
I understand. This is for me. The only point is this. What you're saying makes all sense. I'm with you. I came all the way to the Bundys. Now, for different reasons, I couldn't make it on this one. Even just as the media, I would like to be there and see with my own eyes and report. This is very important. Because what I'm concerned now, the mainstream media, it's part of the machine, the propaganda machine. They will try to paint you, to make you look like very dangerous people. And then, when the public opinion, like during Waco, Texas, public opinion, finally, everybody was convinced that the Davidian, they were bad people. And then at that point, the federal government will unleash all complete violence. Because the point is, right now, you are with the other guys, with all the patriots, you are there in a place pretty much well confined. Where exactly are you, first of all? Where is all this group staying? I mean, still at this wildlife retreat, supposedly federal land. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Yes, Luca, I've been out front, of the compound, and that's all I can say to that. I've been out front of the compound with all the news. One great thing about this, we've had news from all over the world covering this. Now, whether you agree or you don't agree with the way that Allen and them took the place over, that's irrelevant. I think that's our land, and I think it's our buildings as far as I'm concerned. And we need to get back to the Constitution, and I think that's what they're trying to bring out. We need to get back to the Constitution because it says the federal government cannot own this land, except for certain things. And I know you know the Constitution.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
But let's read. No, I don't know very well. I just know as well, probably as everybody can read. We don't need to be professors or lawyers. Even an immigrant like myself. The Constitution states that the federal government can occupy a part of the states just for specific purposes, like, for example, for armories, for forts, for harbors, specifically dedicated for that. But cannot just take over millions of acres just because they say so. That's completely wrong. We know that we've been occupied and we've been sold out a long time ago. My only point, though, right now, out of the blue, when we have majority of the people that they don't understand that, they think from outside that a bunch of crazy people with weapons, because that's the way they're going to make it look anyway. The people that think, just because you have a Second Amendment, you carry a weapon for self-defense, you automatically now you become a bad person. You are a terrorist, a domestic terrorist. Now, this is a setup. I believe that, I don't know what's going to happen. I just hope more news going to talk about it and make understand that I know at least many of you are law-abiding people, you are family people, you are not terrorists, you're just people who wants to at least point out that there is been a crime there against these people. It's an abuse of power, and that's a peaceful way to protest. But still, now you are in a location. I'm not there. Can you describe it to me? What is this exactly? This building, this wildlife refuge? What is like a chalet? What is this? Like a sort of a cabin? What is this?
Oh no, this is an elaborate place. I mean, they got all kinds of buildings on it, and they got a gym in it. From what I understand, they got a commercial kitchen. From what I understand,
wow.
And they spent a lot of taxpayer dollars. And remember, I just said taxpayer dollars on building it. They didn't use the corporation. The BLM is incorporated by a foreign entity. Mm-hmm. They are not even. They got no policing powers. But yet they can carry guns and point them at American citizens. What the hell is going on in this country, Luca?
I know that BLM right now, it's the new Gestapo, in my opinion. They have no authority. By the way, they're in their charter is also in Puerto Rico, for what I understand. I mean, this is completely like a foreign agency, like the mobster when they have the hitman. Now by the way, they are working for the corporation. For what I understand, like during the Bundys, we found out that the part of Nevada where the Bundys family have their ranch and they have their grazing rights was sold out already through the Reed's family, the son of Irie Reed, working for the Chinacom Corporation for this big solar farm. And we found out immediately then. Now, for what I understand, this big part of Oregon, where the family of the Hammond, they have the grazing rights, is pretty much part of huge quantities. I mean, they have a lot of minerals and uranium. So that seems like there is another big profit for corporations. That's why they want to send out this family away, for what I understand. So there is so much people we should understand before we judge, before we say anything. But now I'm really concerned that especially all the stars that line up in a special moment. Obama, today what he's been trying to do is trying to pass executive orders to completely destroy the Second Amendment without even Congress. Don't you think that maybe they're going to try to use this situation the next few days for people like, that you're there, just because you're there, exercise your First Amendment, and just because people have the right to carry weapons, as with our Second Amendment, they're going to try to make us look like, we need to suppress guns. Could you believe maybe it could be some sort of a false flag? Do you see any type of infiltrators be there?
No, this is no false flag. Mm-hmm. This is real, because a lot of the people have decided we got to take a stand. Mm-hmm. If I got to die for my great grandkids and my grandkids, it's a time that we stand up and do something, because you can't keep burying your head in the sand and think that it ain't gonna affect me. Yes, it's already affecting you. Everybody that hears this voice tonight, it is affecting you.
Oh, I understand.
Believe me, it's going to affect you. It's
everybody.
Going to affect you and your kids a lot worse.
And I say something. Today is happening to the ranchers. Tomorrow will happen maybe if you own some chickens, or if you own a well, if you have just a regular house, property, if you have a pond. I mean, this is happening to everybody right now. It's only a question of time. I mean, there are people that are being fined $30,000 a day or $3,000 a day, depending on what type of fine they want to apply to. By the BLM, just because they have a little pond with some fish on their properties. I mean, we are back to the times of kings and lords, that these bureaucrats now can tell us how to destroy our life, how many times we need to bow down. This is serious. Now, what do you think? Did you see among the people anybody that maybe you do not recognize, or maybe you may believe could be some sort of agent provocateur or some sort of an infiltrator? What do you think? Any smell for that?
Oh, absolutely. You're going to get them every time. You're going to get the ones that come in. Excuse me, Luca. You're going to get the ones that come in and try to throw a firecracker or whatever, to get something kicked off. But these patriots are smarter than that. We know if somebody throws a firecracker, you don't just start shooting your gun. But they love to do that. Mm-hmm. Yes, they will probably try to use this for their agenda. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Who said that? The guy out of Chicago, I believe. I forget his name. Mm. Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the mayor of Chicago, I know what I'm talking about. The one that...
I forget his name.
Rahm Emanuel, yes.
Yeah, never let a good crisis go to waste. Well, the American people are letting... They better stand up behind this, and everybody, not just up here in Oregon, they better get behind it in every county, because they are going to come to your county, your town next, and it's a very bad situation.
Where are you sleeping right now? Are you sleeping in a hotel, or are you sleeping in this federal wildlife refuge? I mean, where are you sleeping right now?
I'm out front of the place, and actually I've got a hotel room. So
okay, so in a hotel room. And another question I have: when I think at this point, I don't know if Hammond Bandy was there opening the door. Who exactly started to? I mean, I cannot visualize this moment. This building. Anybody was working in the building? There were any type of federal workers when people decided to go inside and occupy it? Did you see that moment?
No. The building, our building, the American citizen, not citizens, American free people own the land. If they built their buildings with our tax dollars, I think we, the people, still own the buildings also.
No, I understand. I'm just trying to understand how all that happened, exactly when happened, and there was anybody in this building, or the building was completely, somebody was working there?
No, the buildings were, they didn't go at gunpoint and take the buildings. No, the buildings were sitting on our land, and if you're homeless, you got a right to go get in, as far as I'm concerned.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure it out, visualize exactly what happened. You got people there like Hammond and his brothers and all the other people coming from different parts of the states. At that point, what time was when they said, okay, let's go to occupy this building?
Right after our march, we had in the town, and then some people went out there, and then that's when they took over the building, because we don't want a gun battle. We want a negotiation for the Hammonds and for we the people of how there's ranchers coming out there right now talking, and the other ranchers are starting to stand up, talking about how the BLM has been shutting them down, taking them out of business. And what's really funny about this, Luca, 2 weeks after they sentenced Mr. Hammond to prison, they went out to these ranchers that wouldn't stand up for Mr. Hammond, and the BLM, and I think I sent you a video on it, actually went out there and circled their house, their barns, and their cattle, and set it on fire and burned it. I don't know, a couple 5,000 acres.
I watched that.
You watched that.
That was disgusting. That was criminal. They're sending to jail the Hammond because they did a fire where there were no crime, there was no victims, no crime, just to try to defend their property from other fires, normal thing. And then what they were doing, they were burning their animals. They were burning their homes. That was completely something that should be prosecuted immediately. But just because it's the government, everything's okay. Like, for example, very well, the BLM, they do this sort of a burning. They call it for, to try to control the fire or whatever. And they use a lot of chemicals for the accelerants that, by the way, they are very toxic. And you cannot even complain. All over Arizona, they're doing that. and everybody must shut up because it's the government. But if you do yourself as a regular slave, you're going to be labeled a terrorist and you're going to spend 5 years in jail. That's where we are. So I'm saying, this is amazing.
Now, let me say something real quick here. On them ranchers, they wouldn't stand up for the Hammonds. If they were out there today and I knew about it, they were burning their land, I'd be out there backing them. But I'll tell you what, I'd be very vocal about it. Say, had you stood up for the Hammonds, maybe this wouldn't happen to you. If all you ranchers got together and said no more, then you would have had everybody in America come to your defense. No more. You're burning our land. No more. But see, they hide it. They're very good at hiding it. It happened in this county, and 3 counties over, nobody even knows about it. So
I know.
They twist all the mainstream news. It's bought out. They lie for them. They twist it around. So, but the thing is, if you don't stick together, we can hang separately.
I agree. I agree. The only one thing I'm concerned, I'm telling you, this is happening in Oregon. Right now it's cold, by the way. Tell me exactly what is the temperature. I see snow right now, right? I mean, it's kind of not exactly a friendly environment. How cold is there today?
It's probably pretty close to 0 here today, I would think.
Okay, so
it feels like when I walk outside. Now let me tell you. Now here's what the local police and the BLM and the FBI right here in Oregon, they shut the school down for a week. Now, all this is going on is 45 minutes from the refugees that they seized.
Wow.
They shut the school down, and they're using that for a command center.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
they're making all these people in this town, the kids can't go to school.
Yep.
If you got kids, you got to get babysitters if you're working,
Uh-huh.
whatever. But they feel like that their agenda is more important than your kids' education. And they're out there. They got the roads blocked off all around this school. We went up there and to take pictures of it, and they got all the roads blocked off so you can't drive down it. You can walk down because we walked in front and filmed it.
Wait, that's part of the plan, Ken. That's part of the plan. They want to create so much discomfort in the locals that the people that they're already pretty much, let's say, against all this, they're going to get even worse the more vocals. I mean, they want to create discomfort, to create this psychological warfare, so all the community is going to hate you, is going to hate the Hammond, or anybody that's there to support them. That's part of the plan, to disrupt the peace. So everybody went,
Absolutely.
Then when they start to bomb you and they start to gas you or start to burn you like they did with the for example, in Waco, Texas, everybody's going to say, finally, it's about time. I mean, I was even in Italy, but I watched the videos after what happened in Waco, Texas with the Davidians. After so many weeks of negotiations, people, they were happy to see the final burning of that church. Okay, because they were so psychologically brainwashed that they wanted it. They built it up. And that's what I'm afraid.
You know what it is, Luca? The town people, as far as I'm concerned, they know that they should have stood, they should have done something. They're so embarrassed and ashamed of themselves that they'd soon see Mr. Hammond go into prison and let their life get back to normal. Because they're ashamed because they're not doing anything. And they better get on their knees and do some soul searching, because their kids and their grandkids are never going to have freedom in this country. If we keep going on the path we're on now, nobody's going to have freedom.
I understand. I'm just now from a strategic point. I mean, I'm not a general. I'm just a regular guy, but just using the brain, I see some differences here from what happened when we were together at the Bundys in Nevada. First of all, we are in the part, guys, you are in the middle of this part of America, very isolated, northwest. I've never been in Oregon, but I think it's way out there. It's not central, and it's cold. The weather is pretty much harsh. It's a working season. People have to work. And I see that this pocket of America seems like really they're a bunch of slaves, because what really concerns me to think that from just all over Oregon, they can put up maybe 1,000 people that peacefully want to come there and just say, I want to bring a support and a prayer for this family. Just bring in there with their video camera, just to show their bodies. I'm not even calling them militia. I'm just talking as a regular people from Oregon to come there peacefully and start to witness this tragedy. That's what really disturbed me. because I find almost ridiculous the fact that you, at 72, had to drive all the way from Michigan, completely few states away, to come there and support a family in Oregon. I mean, how many people living in Oregon? Probably a few 100,000, I don't know. But that's insane. Okay? That's what it disturbs me.
Well, what's really the shame is when the sheriff could have stopped all this. All he had to say is, okay, federal government, you're not coming here to take the Hammonds till we get a rehearing on this. Now let's get a rehearing and hear that the jury wasn't allowed to hear why they started the fire. All they were told they started the fire. That's what they're charged with. You can't hear why they started the fire. What kind of a court system is that? That sounds like what I would call in Texas when I was a kid, we used to call them kangaroo courts.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how they got sentenced.
Like during the time of the king, it's a fraud. But also another point, double jeopardy. I mean, this is not Italy, or at least supposed not to be Europe. It's supposed to be America. We have a specific part of the Bill of Rights says that you cannot be tried for the same crime twice. Otherwise, this is ridiculous. Like at the time of the kings, when, the king didn't like the first trial, say, let's do a trial again. I mean, right there we got a big problem, and tomorrow can happen to any one of us. Even people do not support the idea of these people, the lifestyle, their cattle, or whatever they've done. It's called double jeopardy. Okay, that's right there. Should be saying something to everybody. Tomorrow we can be tried over and over, still the government doesn't get the right verdict. That's scary. That belongs to tyranny, not to a republic or some sort of a free society. So I'm really disturbed about that. Now I'm also very disturbed because I tell you, as I said before, I don't see the same type of situation where we had at the Bundys. I see that Bundys, they were there begging for help, and they were ready to stand up with us in front of us. These people, the locals, they're a bunch of cows, for what I understand. Many of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are some good people. But the majority, as you said, 50% of the locals, they are working for the federal government. They are slaves. They're never going to open their mouth. Then you have the Hammonds. They're already in jail. They're already in federal prison. At this point, we have a small group. I mean, I tell you, as much I heard that you have about 150 people, it's still a very small group. I wish there were there at least 5,000 people, something like that.
Yes, sir. I wish they had 1 million people there. I wish they had 315 million, but Americans will not stand up till they knock on their door, Luca. And
I know. I understand.
That's something we gotta face.
And that's why, at least, I want to. My point to bring this on the show, even if I have a little humble radio show, I'm saying this, guys. I'm not telling you to get your rifle and join the militia. No, I'm just saying you do what you follow your heart. But would be nice. Many of us, plan vacations to Hawaii. I mean, I don't go to Hawaii. I don't go anywhere. I stay in Arizona. But I know the average family likes to go on vacation, okay, if they can afford it. This would be probably the best vacation you can do for love, for a family that now is going to have the life ruined. Why don't you plan your vacation right now to go to the Hammond, to Burns, in this little town in Oregon, and at that point, even just bring your video camera and record this part of history, of American history. Or you gotta be there, bring your body, bring your family, witness what these people, you, Karen, and other people like the Hammond, had decided to even just make this symbolic stand. I know the Hammond, I know at least very well, the Hammond Bundy is the most peaceful guy you can find. He has a family, he got 6 kids, he got a business. I mean, he wants to go back home to his wife. But unfortunately now they will try to paint him like a terrorist. They will try to paint any one of you as a terrorist. I say this is the time the American people, in my opinion, they should jump in the car and spend maybe a weekend as vacation there, documenting themselves. Even if they have different opinions, go there, check it out, ask questions, and then bring your body, bring your support, bring maybe, I don't know, a meal. And more important, bring your video camera, because we need to document what's happening here. If we can get 5, 6, 10,000 people, I think we could change the tide. Because right now, what I'm really concerned, a small group of patriots there, pretty much already corral in this area. It's a pretty remote area, I guess, right? Where is this place? It's like out of town, you told me. You don't have any buildings.
out of Burns, it's exactly 30 miles.
Okay.
Now look, I'm gonna get into something else with the American people. They say, okay, we know they can track your phone. We know they're looking at all your emails. They know you're looking at Facebook. They know you're looking at everything. And that doesn't seem to bother American people.
Mm-hmm.
But today, I seen a guy go into the Verizon store.
Yeah.
Now I hope you allow me, I'm gonna get to the target individual, which most people do not understand, and they better start understanding it. This guy went into the store and spent $600 at a Verizon store, and it happened that the lady in there believed in what was going on. She said something needs to be done. This guy spent his $600 buying some things, and just as he was walking out the door, she put her hand up. The FBI was calling her to ask her, did you sell this guy a new phone?
Oh, my gosh.
And she told him no. Now, how do you think they tracked this guy? They're not tracking you with your cell phones. A lot of people, they're doing this with my car. They're doing this with my cell phone. No, they're doing this with the frequencies off your body. And you better understand it, because everybody in the United States is being tracked, and they're all target individuals. They just don't understand it.
I understand.
They better start understanding it.
They have technology that we have no idea. That's a fact. That's a fact. That we've been we're never allowed to know. That's a fact. But even if we want to go to the low-tech stuff, we know very well that we have complete giving away our Bill of Rights, with the Patriot Act and National Defense Authorization Act. NSA now is spying all over the world, and of course all over Americans. But, that's...
And Luca, and I tell these guys out here that, now, before at Bundy Ranch, some of them questioned what I was saying, that there's patents out, Luca, where they can you can be in a crowd of 10,000 people, and they can pick only you, Luca Zana, and talk to you in your head, and nobody else will hear it. Now, what happens when you go in and tell your loved one, your wife, or your mother, your brother, your sister, I'm hearing voices, they want to run you down to a psychiatrist, and this is the way it was designed, so they can get you in there, and they start shooting you up with their drugs, and then they experiment on you more and more and more.
Oh, they think
so
you're
people
crazy.
Better understand it.
Yeah, no, I understand. This is true, and that's the way they're going to start to marginalize us. First, they want to make you look crazy, and then, of course, they will drive you crazy for real, because all they have to do is put you in a mental asylum, and you're going to become crazy. That's the fact. If you get medical drugs like Zoloft, all the stuff, you will become crazy. Plus, their technology, they will control you. This is something, unfortunately, it's happening. Now, listen to me. Tomorrow is a big day, I'm sure. Every day, now, every hour is a big day. What do you expect for tomorrow, Tuesday, January the 5th? What do you think is going to happen?
The way they're arming up for the school, tonight we went by and there's all kinds of cars and all kinds of people there. So I really don't know, but I'm getting ready to ride back out there and then I'll get information from the people on the ground there, and I'll take them there. But I will try to keep you updated on this, because this is a very historic time in our history.
I know.
Right now, most Americans don't believe it. Ain't a bunch of crazies out there with guns. That has nothing to do with it. They're trying to preserve for the future families, and like I heard a couple of them say, you know what? If we got to die today to make our kids free, then let it be me. And you know what, Luca? That's the way I feel.
I know, and I just hope.
If I got to get shot today and die, trying to say I got 4 great grandsons, 5 grandkids. If I got to die today to protect them, let it be me.
I hope nobody's going to die, really, because this point, I tell you, I hope more people, as I said, our key to expose this evil, we need to get more people, all with the media, the real independent media, and of course, if people can just go there, drive, and see, ask questions, as an act of love, to support, at least to see what's going on, and then you make up your mind. I'm not even asking to believe anybody, but as Americans, you don't need to take side right now, but at least document yourself. Drive to Oregon. Can you give exactly the name of the town, and if you can somehow, I don't want to say the directions, but the exact location where all this is happening right now?
The mine, just a minute. Burns, Oregon is the town. If you go out of town, and there's signs, and I don't really know I don't know what signs. I use my GPS. I just put it on text and that, but it says 30 miles. You go out there 30 miles out, and you see it. If anybody comes back here and won't show up, it's very easy to find. All you got to do is follow the huge satellite trucks that's going out there. They're going out to, at least this time, we've got a lot of coverage of the media, all the way from Germany, Switzerland, all over. There's Fox News, CNN, all of them. So even though we know they're going to lie, it lets the American people know, why are all these people doing this? These are not just crazy people that want attention. They want their country back. And they don't want to, they're saying now we want to overthrow the government. No, we don't want to overthrow the government. We want our government to act like our government for we the people. Nothing to do with overthrowing them, taking their powers away. Yes, we do want to pull the purse strings in and make them start acting legal, which our government is nowhere close to legal right now. When we can kill people in the World Trade Centers and all the school shootings, and people don't have enough sense to put together, this is all done for a reason, for gun control, and then after the gun control, you become the slave.
Yes, I agree with you. Listen, I pray for you, for everybody, even this time, because of life and personal things, but I try to do my best through this station and also through the internet. I'm trying this recording. I'm not going to wait for Sunday for radio show. I'm going to upload it on YouTube, and I want everybody to listen, share it, think what you want to do. But if you have to do something, I said, please, if you can, if you have a budget to go to a vacation, or even if you don't, make it. Go to this little town. Go to see what's going on. Bring family. This is about being more we are, more of us we're going to be involved, and more we can diffuse this situation, and more we can bring real media, and more we can hopefully avoid that anything bad happens, and more important that they can do this to somebody else in the near future. So this is my message I have right now. Please, people, get involved, okay? That's the best thing we can do right now. I know many people that don't give a damn, and that's fine. But if somebody really has a little bit of curiosity, this is the time to do something. We're never going to have another chance like this. Ken, my prayers are for you. Please keep me updated if there is anything going on tomorrow, okay?
Can I say one last thing?
Of course, go ahead.
If American people got the money to go to Hawaii, you better come out here instead of going to Hawaii, because within 2 or 3 years, you're not going to have the money to go to Hawaii, and you're not even going to be allowed to. They're going to control your movement.
Exactly.
So either you wake up now and understand it. And I hope everybody on your listening that listens to this, I hope they all give us their prayers.
Exactly. And today is exactly, this recording is being made right now, January the 4th, 2016, 9:45 Arizona time. And I pray that next weekend, when I'm going to be on the air on KTOX 1340 AM, we're going to have some good news. I really pray for that, but we will see that. Ken, good night, my friend, okay? Stay safe.
Good night to you, Luca. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And that was Ken Rhoades, originally from Michigan. I met him at the Bundys, as I said, when we had the standoff down there in Mesquite, Nevada. 72 years old man, and now he's all the way by himself in this middle of nowhere, this little town in Oregon, Burns, or whatever it's called, freezing to death. And I'm concerned. I'm telling you, I'm really concerned. I see this as like a different situation.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid,
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid,
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid,
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Back into the studio, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. I really came up with a conclusion. I wanted to take some time. I wanted to think. I wanted to take more important information and verifications. I really believe that what's happening right now in Burns, Oregon, this news twist led by the Bundys, Hammond and his brothers, this is wrong. I know people say, what the heck, are you crazy? No, I'm not changing my mind on anything. You're talking to a person that I went down to Nevada to help the Bundys when the help was asked, and it was done, in my opinion, lawfully. This is something now different, and I want to articulate why, and why I want to be on record, because I really believe this is a setup, and I hope people can think, maybe we can diffuse it, maybe by this time when the show is going to be played, this show is going to be played on Sunday. I'm recording right now. Unfortunately, it's a few days before Sunday. And I hope people may understand what's going on. And I'm not saying that this is happening because there are bad intentions. Maybe they're just sometimes happen because emotions get involved, or maybe even egos. And as you know, my listeners, I'm not here to take sides. I'm not here I have no allegiance to none, but to the truth. I'm to support somebody when support is needed, and more important, is deserved. It's something I believe it's wrong. I don't care who you are. I'm telling you. And I tell you as a friend, So let me articulate a little bit my points. Differently from Nevada, when the Bundys needed help, needed people to face the BLM who confiscated and, in my opinion, stole the cows, the cattle, and the violence that was used against the Bundys for the First Amendment. They were trying to speak, they were tased and arrested, and we know the story. I thought that was black and white. Now, this situation with the Hammond is different, and I tell you why. First of all, I really believe that you cannot force a horse to drink unless he doesn't want to drink. Okay? Number one. The Hammond made their stand. That means they want to go to jail, because probably they understand that they're going to go to jail anyway, and there's their choice. I'm not here judging if they are cowards or not. I'm not judging. They did what they think is right according to their families, and it's that their business. The community in that area, unfortunately, is already been domesticated. More than 50%, I did some researches, more than 50% of the community in the area of Burns, Oregon, they work for the federal government. So they are slaves. They cannot speak up. They're not going to take side into this. And then maybe they don't like outsiders. Now, if there is not, first of all, the family itself willing to ask for help and to stand up, you look like, I'm sorry, try to impose yourself. That's wrong, in my opinion. And I understand, my friend Ken said, if you see a woman is being raped, don't you go to help her? I understand what you're saying, Ken, and I respect that. But there is also a point. If you do your stand, if you do your support, you do in a smart way. You don't do in a way that you're going to lose the moral high ground, and you're going to offer yourself almost like a sacrificial lamb for this trap. This is entrapment. This is a setup. Now, also from a military point of view, I'm not a general. I'm not a soldier. But I studied. Besides, I did a little bit of military school when I was in Italy, but I really tried to study, and I use my brain, okay? Call me maybe armchair general. I don't need to be a general. All I need to use my brain. You do not want to create another Alamo. The Alamo, the sacrifice of the 150 men, or whatever they were at the Alamo, was probably very symbolic, very inspiring, but was strategically a disaster. Okay? You don't want to die. You want your enemies to go first. I'm not advocating for the death of anybody. I hope peace is going to prevail. Okay? Because we are winning with the information wars. We are winning the minds and heart. We are exposing these criminals. We are exposing the Hillary Clintons. We are exposing the Hillary Reeds. We are exposing Obamas, Benghazi, Fast and Furious, all the bad things they're doing to us, the IRS scandal, and more and more and more. Okay? If we lose now, if we lose the focus on what we're doing, and we start to do things that they want to provoke us, we will play exactly into their game. So what's happening right now, in my opinion, in Burns, the idea was good. You want to go there, you want to support, even if you come from out of the state, with a peaceful rally, at least bringing the media attention to what happened to that family. Regardless, the family is going to jail, the father and son, the Hammonds, but at least you did a peaceful rally and you wanted to try to create some sort of a leadership into the local community. Great idea. From then, though, to go and to break into a structure, in this case like the wildlife refuge, it's considered federal property. Like it or not, I understand, that's our tax dollar. I do, but on the book, on the laws that we have right now, that's called a federal property. If you trespass with a weapon, that's going to be a very serious offense. But more important, you do that not even having the strategic advantage, to have resources, a plan, and number. For what I understand, you bring yourself outside from the media's attention, at least from the people's attention. You're not anymore in town with the people. You go outside in a very perfect environment to be mop up. Remember Ruby Ridge? Happened that because he was exactly in the middle of nowhere. And people were cut off. So they were able to kill his wife while she was holding her little daughter. And doing all the bad things, and kill the little baby, the little child, the little teenager boy, running with his dog. So exactly that's what they're going to do here. And today I tell you, I hope to be wrong. Today I'm recording this is January the 5th, 2016, 6:33 p.m. So you're going to listen to the show on Sunday, and maybe by then something may happen. I hope not. I hope to be wrong, but I tell you, this is for me. What's happening right now in Burns, Oregon with the Bundys, there are two situations could happen. One could be just plain stupidity mixed with arrogance. In a good, faithful way, even in a good, good heart, still, it's going to get you killed. Because I don't like to think that people are following a person. We are not here into a cult. The person should never be the main goal. We are here for a cause, the cause of freedom, the cause of justice. Okay? And we want to do within the law. Unless somebody, of course, is trying to use violence on us, like they were doing, for example, during the Bundys in Nevada last year. They were pointing loaded rifles at us. Yes, we have the right to defend ourselves. But in this case, to lose the moral high ground and to go into this building in federal, what is called federal area, federal property, with weapons, the best you're going to get there is going to be criminal trespassing, in my opinion. With weapons, it's going to be even worse. But more important, that you go there without resources, without food, without a plan, completely isolated, and you don't even have 5,000 people. What, with few dozens of people? And then my other question is, how many among them, how many infiltrators, how many agents of Bodator, how many double agents you got there? That may set you up, and they may also create the situation for violence. And what you want to accomplish, how long you going to be there? So, or could be just an act of complete emotional act, or could be something that unfortunately is just a plan of suicide. I mean, people want to die, that's the good way in my opinion, but I don't want to die, I don't want nobody to die. I don't want the federal agents to die, they have families too, and many of them, maybe they're just trying to do their job. I don't say that it's the right job, but at least, we need to try to avoid violence. We don't win the heart and mind with violence. Violence is only used as a last resort when somebody's trying to kill you. Okay? But when you set yourself up in that situation, you're going to get killed for sure. That's a fact. My opinion, there is also more. I don't want to say now the names because I did need to verify more, but I had several sources on the premises with the Bundys the last few days. Sources, they were there. And they saw and they confirmed what I already found out. There are people there that they are, if at least they are impersonators, they're saying things that they are not, and they're giving very poor advices to the Bundys. They said that they were former military, former special forces. Instead, we know that is not true, but we know that for sure their actions, or at least with the actions they're trying to instigate, they are bad, and they will get you killed. And I wouldn't be surprised, I have not all the proofs now, that they are agent provocateur, trying to create a false flag. Because think about it. First of all, the federal government doesn't forget. They won a revenge on the Bundys. The Bundys won in Nevada last year on the moral ground We expose the federal government trying to point guns at us and all the different things they've done to their families, and more important, the violence and the complete violation of our First Amendment and all those things. They had to back down. We won the battle. But they didn't forget. Now, think about the 4th of January 2016, exactly when Obama is coming down with the executive order to create this new, unconstitutional gun restriction. We have people that they're going to give also more excuse. And what if it's going to go in a bloodshed? What if really we're going to have bullets flying around? That's going to be perfect. Because Obama is going to feel, you see, and he's going to have all the media, all the control media, confirming his crap, confirming his nasty, evil plan, given legitimacy. So the time is very weird. And also it's very weird, the decision. Even if it was for, let's say you want to make a stand. Let's say you want to make a military stand. You want to take all, first of all, in the asymmetrical warfare, means in the guerrilla warfare, we are not an army. We are regular people. We never could face an army. And I'm just not talking about against our government. In general, if we go to war, the first weapon we have is to be mobile, is to be agile. Especially if you are a symmetrical group, a symmetrical organization. You are not like the army. And we'd be wrong anyway. Asymmetrical warfare, you are agile. You never stay in the same place. Instead, to bother yourself up in that location without food, they're going to cut, of course, the electricity pretty soon. They already didn't. You have no water. You're going to freeze to death. And you're begging for food. Whatever is going to be left there is going to be the useful idiots that maybe they have a good heart. I know many of them, they're friends, by the way. They have a good heart. They go there because they really think they're doing the right thing. But then they're going to find themselves trapped. And the best thing is going to happen, they're going to be arrested, if not killed. That's how you skim the milk. You can start to, almost as a magnet, attract the best of the best, or at least the people that normally they have more courage, and then you start to skim them. And then you go down, next level. So I'm saying, as much as I've been supporting the Bundys, and I still do, at least for what they've done in the past, on this one, in my opinion, what happened here outside Burns is wrong. It's a wrong tactical, it's wrong strategical, it's wrong also from a lawful point of view, and doesn't accomplish anything. If the local people don't want to follow you, you don't have to force them. More important. And this is the time that you need to understand that it's like a chess game. They are playing you out. They are playing chess game, and you are the pawn. Wake up. So yes, I want people to go there with a video camera to document and try to diffuse potential violence. That's the only thing we can do, because whoever is left there, or is too stupid to understand it, or is being set up. That's, I hope we can help them out. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. God help us, God help them, and may peace be maintained. Because we need to keep peace. We can win this in the right way. They want us to provoke us. They want to go to war. They want to declare martial law. They want to go gun confiscation. They want to have the moral high ground. We shouldn't give it to them, ever. Okay, be ready for hour number 2. It's going to be all about guns and training and some tactical ideas.
You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States .fm network. You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States .fm network.
Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad. And by the way, it happens on the streets of Chicago every day. So, all of us need to demand a Congress brave enough to stand up to the gun lobby's lies. All of us need to stand up and protect its citizens. All of us need to demand governors and legislators and businesses do their part to make our communities safer. We need the wide majority of responsible gun owners who grieve with us every time this happens and feel like your views are not being properly represented to join with us to demand something better.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and on United States.FM network. Second hour about guns training. You know, for me, this is a serious matter, as I said. I want to try to use this opportunity, being on the air, not to entertain or to just talk about guns. You know, you can find great shows out there to buy the latest gun. No, for me, the gun and the rifle and the shotgun, they are tools. Tools to defend freedom, tools to defend this republic, tools to defend life. That's the bottom line. And I want to use really practical tips, practical ideas. You know, we talk in this hour about the Second Amendment, about the philosophy and also the right, you know, and the gun laws and all the different attacks that we are facing against our rights. But also the most important thing I want to try to do is try to bring you experts, people who can share their experience to improve you as gun owners, as law-abiding citizens, as law-abiding American, ready to defend our property, our families, and our rights. Today, I have with me an interesting guy, really, seriously. I receive a lot of newsletters. I'm always looking for products, ideas, and I said, I do not bring you here sponsors, because for me, you know, I want to be always honest when I talk about items or products. I don't want to be feeling, you know, somehow vinculated to tell you things just because somebody paid me. No. The first things I want to bring you here is the truth. So I have an interesting product. I think it's really interesting because it is a kind of unique on the market for the type of information that you can get available for the regular American. It's called Driven from Our Homes. It's a DVD and also a little booklet. And there is also much more. There's also a website, a company behind, and several individuals that they have interesting background coming from a military background. Now, let me go straight to the point. His name is Chad Cooper, and Chad is here. Chad, are you here?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Chad.
Thanks for having me on.
Very good, very good. And as you heard about pretty much what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to bring people, expert information for the average American, or even people that is not exactly the average, but they want to enrich themselves, to learn more, and to have a different type of tools to defend themselves, this republic, and our properties and lives. That's the bottom line. This is the hour about guns. So it is not a hobby. We are not here shooting for fun. I mean, I like to have fun too when I shoot, but mostly for me it's a duty and also an opportunity as a tool. Now, give us a little bit about your background, because you're an interesting guy. You know, you're not just a business owner, but also you have an interesting background. Go ahead, please. Talk about yourself briefly.
Absolutely. Yeah, my background is that I used to be a police officer, and then I joined the Air Force, and I worked in the intelligence community for the Air Force, NSA, and after I got out, I was a defense contractor, and I did that for 4 years. Part of my job was to train the guys still in uniform. So I traveled all around the world. I went to the Middle East. I went to South Korea and many bases in between, teaching them and showing them what they need to do to be, you know, top notch. And along the way, I kind of woke up. That's what I had my awakening, and I realized that we were, as citizens and as a country, we're in at least I was in a bad position. I wasn't prepared for what I think is shortly to come upon us. Barack Obama had just taken office the first time, and gosh, it kind of rattled my bones and motivated me to start getting ready. And that started with the basics, and I'm sure your listeners know about food preparation, water purification, first aid, and part of that firearms, you know, and all of the training that goes along with it. Training is the most important thing you can get. It's the only thing you can take with you everywhere. You can lose items, you can have stuff taken away from you, but your knowledge goes with you everywhere. And so I started getting training, and part of what goes along when people start thinking about prepping and being prepared for a bad situation, whether it be a end of the world situation or global economic collapse or a tyrannical government, is people start thinking about bugging out. And to that end, I purchased a remote property out in the mountains, and I started stocking it and building out that property and learning as I went along the way. And that's kind of my background right there, and that's what spurred me to want to produce a video that kind of encapsulates the types of things that I've learned but presented in a way that is really palatable so people can understand. It's one thing to just learn first aid, to learn how to apply a tourniquet. It's a completely other thing to do it in practice.
Exactly.
And so,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Now, you can read the books many times. You can watch the video. You think, okay, now I know how to do it. But till you don't do it really a few times and you start to make it like, when you have your training, you have to have these thousands of repetitions, so become muscle memory. Same story should be also when you apply a tourniquet or you do something that under stress, you're not going to think, now let me read the instructions. How do I apply a tourniquet? No, you're going to do automatically because hopefully you've done already 100 times, So, but at least you want to give them the tool, because I tell you, I want to be honest, I didn't bring you here because you are a sponsor, but I think because you have for sure found a good niche that people, we're talking about the average American, okay? You had a chance through the government to have training and to have probably the information and skills the average person doesn't have. I'm talking about mom and pop here, people that they have normal lives and they don't do this for living. At the same time, they would like to have the basics, okay, at least the basics to say, if I had to prepare my family, if I had to take care of my son, maybe he got shot or got wounded, we need to evacuate. To have some basic that we are not going to be completely sitting ducks. That's the point. And I think on this one I give you a 10 because, you found something that I think is very useful and we need it. That's why I wanted to bring you in. Now, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. You also have a website. I would like, please, you can share it because also people can go there and check you out. Go ahead. Give the website.
If people want to learn about it, it's drivendvd.com, DRIVEN, DVD.com, drivendvd.com. When they go to the landing page, they'll see me. I'm the guy talking right there. I'm walking on the railroad tracks, and I'm kind of going to tell you a little bit about what's in the film. But it's been fun. I won't lie. I had a great time filming it, but I learned so much. One of the main characters that's in it, he's actually a no-kidding Army Ranger. He used to work for Blackwater. And I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm there. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Yeah, he's a former Army Ranger, used to work for Blackwater as a defense contractor. He's employed by the U.S. government to provide security to high-profile people in the State Department. The guy's really awesome, and he goes along with me and my family as we bug out to a remote location. And along the way, we run into all kinds of problems and trouble. We run out of gas. We encounter fire. Somebody shoots at us as we go. We get someone wounded. We finally get to our bug out location and kind of get settled in. We talk about how to set up a perimeter, how to reinforce your house, things to look for, weak points. And then we actually stage a rescue where we go to another town and try to see if we're able to help them. So we go through all of the steps, and every scene isn't just for theatrics. Every scene is set up to teach. And you can learn something in every single scene. And what's great is you mentioned earlier is the book that goes with it. It fills in all the gaps. It explains to you exactly what we're doing and the philosophy behind it, why we're doing what we're doing in this particular scene. And one of the things that drives me crazy as a former military guy is when I'm watching Hollywood shows and I see that there's something that's not authentic, the uniforms are wrong, or the guy's saluting funny. Those types of things drive me crazy. And to the best possible that we could possibly do in this video, it's authentic. Everything is exactly how you should do it.
Yes.
So you could actually model your training after what we're doing.
I agree. I tell you, I like the booklet probably even more than the DVD. Don't get me wrong. A DVD is great because you can see, but the booklet is with you and is really complementary because it fills a lot of gaps and becomes a lot of contents, that you can have ready to go even when you don't watch the DVD. So anyway, and talking about a little bit about some of the topics, because of course I invite people to at least go to your website, check it out. And I said, this is not a sponsor. I'm here just to try to share information that I really want people to have a chance. That's it. Okay. So at least check it out. Check. It is not like the typical movie that you can buy, for $10. It's a little more expensive, but it's a tactical and very unique content, and it is not mass produced. Okay. This is for a niche. How much you selling it for? If you can please share the information.
Yeah, it normally sells for $49.99, and that includes the book and the DVD. It's on sale right now for $10 off, so it's for $39.99. That price includes the shipping. And like you said, this is not your typical mass-produced video. It is professionally produced, absolutely professional. All of the video and stuff is, and it's not cheap to film these types of things. And I think it really does, like you said, it provides a great value. And it's a great launching point for helping other people wake up and for helping other people get on board. So, say for instance, you're already high speed, you're already going to gun training, you're already, well trained, but you're having a hard time getting your friends and your family on board.
Yeah.
This is the video that you can really take to them and say, hey, watch this with me, and then see their reaction to see if they're prepared or if they're interested, because that's what I found is a lot of people are using this as a tool to help bring their friends and family on board.
Exactly. And also another important thing, let's say there are people that they're great shots, okay? They think they are very knowledgeable and great riflemen, and, great with weapons, small firearms, great. That's just a little part of the equations. I mean, among all your skills that we should have, that's just probably maybe 15%. We need to know much more. We need to know the communication. First of all, our goal is to avoid confrontation. We are not here to try to, we are very important. We are valuable. We are fathers and mothers. Our children count on us. We don't want to expose ourselves on unnecessary risk. But at the same time, of course, if we have to do it, we will do everything to protect us and our communities. But the point is...
That's exactly the point that we drive home in the book is avoid. You want to avoid confrontation. You want to avoid the fight.
Exactly.
That's the safest way to get yourself out of a fight is to run away and get away from it. But you're talking about some of the skills, about how shooting and being a great shot is just maybe 15% of it. And you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head with that. In the video, we talk about driving, how to drive in a convoy, how to do combat driving. If you're being shot at, what do you do if somebody's chasing you? What do? Do you hit the brakes? Do you drive fast? We cover these things. We talk about first aid. We talk about selection of your retreat. We talk about when to retreat. When do you bug out? When do you go? And I one of the things that I think is kind of neat is the paradigm. People say, "Oh, I'm not planning on bugging out. I'm already at my retreat. I'm staying." Well, nobody says you have to die in place.
Exactly.
That's not my plan.
Exactly.
I have a plan to bug out anywhere that I go. I'm looking for exits because, say I'm already at my retreat.
Exactly.
What happens if somebody comes knocking there? You've got to have a backup plan to your backup plan.
Exactly. And I'm not a military guy like yourself, but when I was in Italy, I attended military schools. And I'm telling you, there is no place in every type of strategy, in every type in historic battles, there is no place that can be defended forever. With enough resources and time, every castle or every retreat can be taken over. That's a fact. So
absolutely.
The best defense sometimes always the attack, or to be completely agile and mobile. That's the most important thing. So we cannot think, okay, I got my everything in one place. No, never put your eggs all in one basket, number one. Never get too attached to a physical place, because the only place you need to be attached is your body. And after that, of course, it's your soul. But that's another story. Very good. Listen, I want to, I know people need to, if they're serious, and I say, even out of this book and this DVD, you get one topic that you can cover and you can fill your gap. That would be definitely worth it. Let's say you have to hire an expert that needs to give you some basic information. I'm sure it's going to be more than $39 an hour, okay? So that's the point. You can get maybe, let's say, economy stuff, whatever, but think how much money you waste on useless things. Sometimes, you need to think that your training, as you said before, is the most valuable thing, because you can carry it with you. I mean, I can always find an extra gun somewhere. I can always snag some ammo somewhere. But training, if I don't have it, is impossible to buy. So consider, if you're serious, I'm not saying that you need to buy the product, but please go on the website, check it out, and maybe get a couple family friends and start to think, even if you get one of a couple of these topics can help you out, would be definitely worth the investment. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, please.
I agree, and I want to echo that. Knowledge, even if you, just like you said, if you get one thing out of it, it's worth $50.
I agree.
Just one thing. But there's more, because when you purchase Driven, you get a free 1 month membership. And I know some guys are like, oh, I don't want a membership. Well, bear with me here. It's a free 1-month membership to Team Infidel. And what this membership gives you is a ton. And it's $9 a month if you don't cancel. And you can cancel anytime. There's no obligation. But use the first month for free. After that, this is what you get. You get access to webinars. I have gone out and I hire the best that I can possibly find, and I interview them. I just got done with an interview with a guy named Chris Taylor. He's a combat veteran attached to the special operations group, both with the Marines and with the Army. This guy's a PSYOP expert. We went out. He's been deployed to Afghanistan. We went out and we talked. We filmed it. We talked about shooting from cover and concealment. We talked about using smoke. That's just one example. I did another interview with a guy that he's a combat medic. We talked about what the top things are that you need to know as for medicine. In battle, we've got a list of 5 pieces of equipment you absolutely have to have and 5 things that you need to know in medicine. These guys, I pay them. Every month, these guys I go out and I find the best that I can possibly find to cover a particular topic. I compensate them. It's in the hundreds of dollars, and you get it as part of your membership for just $10 a month. You get articles, you get these webinars, and then you get 10% off anything that you buy at infidelbodyarmor.com.
Yes.
I own a body armor company. We sell body armor. We sell tactical equipment. You get 10% off. So if you're going to buy body armor, it makes sense to be a member. You save 10%. We're talking, that pays for itself 3, 4, 5 times over easily. So I think it's a great benefit to be a member, and we're always adding new content to it. And if there's something that you're looking for, let me know, and I'll go out and find the best, and we'll interview them, and we'll figure out exactly what we need to know and present that to the team.
I agree. And I tell you, I appreciate, by the way, you gave me also a pass to go there and check it out, and I really like the information. I tell you, I'm not saying that I can honestly tell you something. There is probably, the DVD is great and the booklet is great, but when you become a member, there is so much more stuff in that every week or every month that it's probably would be like the price of another DVD every month. It's a lot of information. It's much more detailed and more specific on everything. I agree with that. Now, listen, I don't want to give too much away, but since, you are the expert here, at least the person that does this for a living or has been doing this for a living, and I would like to share always valuable information. I don't want to just pitch a product here. Of course, I'm doing it because I think the product is the key. People need to start with that. But I want you to pick maybe a couple of topics, or maybe even just one topic, something that, of course, this is just an academic way. We are over the radio, and I don't expect somebody now is driving, taking notes, and maybe becoming an expert just because he hears on the radio, okay? But at least it's good to know what you don't know. At least give them the information on some topic that they think they know, but it is not so simple as it seems. For example, pick a topic out of the book or out of the DVD driven that you think we can maybe share as practical information on the air with our listeners.
Okay. And when you mentioned that these people might be driving down the road, and I definitely don't want you pulling out a notebook to take notes on this, but while you're driving right now, take a look at your position in the lane. Are you aware of your 360 around you? Do you know where all the cars are around you? If the person in front of you hit the brakes really hard, do you know which lane you could go to immediately? Are you following too close? Would you crash into them? Being aware of your surroundings while you're driving is super important. In city driving, it's even more important, and it's really, really difficult to do city driving tactically. Here's a couple of tips. Never let yourself be boxed in, and one of the ways that you can do that is by, even when you come up to a red light or a stop sign, keep enough distance between you and the person in front of you so that you can maneuver your vehicle around them. Don't be afraid to hop a curb if you need to get out of a tough situation like that. And something else to keep in mind, too, is if you're a passenger. We've all heard, hey, I'm riding shotgun. That's the passenger in the front seat. Well, they're called riding shotgun for a reason. They're in charge of security for that vehicle. They need to be assisting the driver with their navigation, with keeping situational awareness, and providing overall security during the convoy when you're moving in a combat situation. If the driver becomes incapacitated, say they get shot, the guy who's riding shotgun is responsible for the rest of the safety of that vehicle. So he has to take over driving with your left hand, doing the steering wheel, and if possible, getting your leg over and stepping on the gas. It takes some practice, and it's easier said than done. But, just being aware of the driving situation, what's around you, having a backup plan ready to go in the event that the what if happens. It's if this happened or if that happened, I'm ready to do this. It's an active thing that you can always do and helps you practice while you're driving to work, while you're driving to school, or while you're driving to church. Always be thinking about that backup plan. What am I going to do if this car pulls out or if this guy slams on the brake? That's how you can help yourself prepare for tactical driving.
Exactly. This is very important. But also, forget about the end of the world. I mean, terrible things can happen anywhere in any big or small city. Doesn't matter where you live. There is always that type of statistics. I guess it's 1 out of 100 people that you see every day could be a serial killer. And, they can now, of course, with the economic crisis, and depends which part of the world do you live, but cities and towns can be trapped and become jungles. So you better start to think a little bit updated to that. And another important thing I like about this, we were talking before, people say, okay, I got my bunker, I got my home all fortified and whatever, but you agree with me, you don't want, when the enemy knock at your door, it's already too late. You're already technically and tactically lost. You don't want even to get to your door. So you have, one of the basic is try to stop your enemy or your aggressor before. So that's why you also create patrolling and recon teams. Can you articulate a little bit about that? Because maybe I'm sure for the average military guy this is normal stuff, but for the civilians it's something. What are you talking about? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, you want to, exactly what you said, patrolling, and you want to push out your perimeter much further away from your house. Like you said, if the enemy's at your door, you've already lost. You need to have a buffer between you and the enemy. And so here's one thing that we will do. This is part of our plan. When it hits the fan, or when we need to set up our retreat and go into full force mode, is that we will set up barricades that will stop vehicles from getting too close to our retreat. And so one of the ideas that we have, or one of the things we're going to be doing, is pulling a tractor that will block the road. We've got a canal on both sides, and the tractor will block the road. So basically, any vehicle traffic isn't going to be able to make it down this road. If they try to go around, they'd end up in the ditch on either side of the canal, and they're not going to be able to push through the tractor. And so what that makes them do is, if they really want to come to us, they're going to be on foot. Now we've got a guy. It's the position would be considered an LPOP, or that's a listening post or an observation post. Mm-hmm. For guys that are thinking they're going to be the lone wolf and do this by themselves, forget about it. You can't do it very easily. You're going to want to be in a group, and your group's going to have numbers and be able to man this 24/7. But this listening post, observation post, they're providing security. They're awake. They're watching. Hey, we've got a vehicle approaching. Oh, they've stopped. Now they're on foot. They're radioing to the guys at the house to let us know, hey, get ready. We've got a guy on foot heading toward our house. That way we can get into position and engage if need be before they get to the house.
Exactly.
So there's all kinds of things that you can do depending on your manpower. If you've got a larger group, you can do roving patrols all the time, where you're checking your perimeter, you're randomly going to different places within your area of control. If you've got a smaller group, maybe you just have a lookout, one person that's manning the lookout, the LPOP, if you will. But every situation is going to be different. But what you said was absolutely right. You don't want the enemy to get so close to your house that you don't have time to react. The idea is to push your control out further, to give yourselves warning that an enemy or potential enemy is within your AOR, your area of operations. So you can make a decision. Hey, we need to scoot out the back and get to a different place, or hey, we need to fight these people here, and you can make the decision based off of the threat that's there. But yeah, you're right.
And another important thing, that's why sometimes we think, okay, me and my wife and 3 children, we're going to be fine. At least if you have what you have, that's fine. If your wife, at least she's trained and she's on the same mindset, she's not going to divorce you because you talk all day about this stuff, it's a good start. Let me put it this way. You need to be into, because once in a while you need to sleep. But also this is the time to find like-minded people. Because you don't want to find last minute some idiots that you don't get along, or maybe you're completely you don't trust, just because you want to stick together. I mean, the number, we need to have enough number to create an environment that we can control 24/7. And, of course, you don't want to overreach. You don't want to be too many people for many practical reasons, because sometimes also logistic space and also food and all these things. But at the same time, you want to have people that you are familiar and close, like a family. Don't you think this is the time to find each other among?
It's absolutely the time. Yeah, there's no time like right now It's in the news. People are already talking about it. They're talking about financial collapse. Just regular, everyday people that haven't even thought about tactical preparedness. They're thinking about it. Everybody's thinking about it. I got a call the other day from a cocktail waitress in Las Vegas. She bought body armor. She said, "I can't believe I'm buying body armor. I must be the weirdest person in the world that's buying this." And I said, "Absolutely not." I said, everybody's buying this stuff right now. Everybody's buying guns. So it's on people's minds.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity to put the feelers out. If you don't already have a group, to form one. Start simple. You don't want to reveal all of your secrets immediately, but it's a great conversation starter.
Exactly. And if I can say 2 things, first of all, start with your family. Your family is the DNA of this country. We need to have strong families that they are prepared. I don't say we need to agree on everything, but when you have at least the understanding what's going on, and you have preparation and training. I mean, let's not forget the American Revolution, okay, wasn't fought by professional armies, wasn't fought by people, even the local militia. They were brothers, sisters. I mean, even the women, of course, they are involved, but mostly men on the field, and they were like cousins and fathers and son. I mean, that's what we need to go back, okay? Grandfather, get veterans, go out there at the gun range and try to look for veterans. So bring a veteran, say, share what you know. This is the time we need to unite together, because I tell you, I've been under this state of mind. I came to this country 18 years ago. It took me 2 years to wake up, and then I say, oh gosh, this is only a question of minutes, or if not hours, before we're going to hit midnight. And 12 years ago, when I started really to at least get more informed and prepared, people used to laugh at me, and that's fine. I don't care. I couldn't care. But now I realize the same people used to laugh at me. Now they say, wow. And I wish I were wrong. I wish we were wrong, because this is happening now on many levels. It is not just the economy that is being planned to destroy, because they need to destroy this country to create a global government, but also what really now I understand it's more dangerous than everything. They're going to try to put us against each other. They're going to try to brainwash others to turn us in. And the fact now that we have this man in the White House, completely, in my opinion, this is just me speaking, okay, I'm not saying that you, Chad, agrees with me. This is just Luca Zanna's opinion. This man is a complete Manchurian candidate working for foreign government. He's trying to destroy this country. He's trying to completely destroy us first morally, ethically, and trying to set us up in World War III in a war that we cannot win. And then we're going to be invaded. And I think we're already invaded right now, because they're going to go after our guns. And this guy is acting as a dictator, is a tyrant, completely bypassing Congress, and he should be arrested right now, not even impeached. But this is Luca Zanna. Now, what I'm really concerned that, unfortunately, some useful idiots, they will pretty much try to follow him and try to enforce these unconstitutional acts. Chad, did you hear about a few days ago, the gentleman, Mr. Obama, that's the only way I can call him, unless I want to go into other names. He started to write down with his magic pen, his very expensive paper that we are paying for, these executive orders bypassing Congress. What is your opinion on that? As a military man who also took an oath to defend this Constitution against all enemies. Go ahead. Give you the floor.
Yes, I am familiar with his proposed, what did he say? He was going to bypass Congress.
Already did.
And enforce a unconstitutional gun law. Yeah, that's what I think about it. I think it's unconstitutional. I disagree with it 100%. I don't even agree with the with the gun laws that we have now. The Constitution clearly says that the right to bear arms is not to be infringed. Any kind of law is an infringement on our constitutional rights. Yeah, it's an outrage. And I stand with the Texas. We're a Texas company, and I stand with the Texas governor who told Obama, "Come and get it."
Yep.
And I think that sums it up. Come and get it. You want to enforce it? We're going to have a civil war on our hands.
And that's
I'm not calling for civil war. I don't think the time is just yet. But if he wants to pick that fight, we're going to bring it.
Exactly. And, and I'm with you. I'm for peace. Nobody's going to have benefits out of a violent confrontation, but these bastards that anyway, they're sending out the useful idiots, and meanwhile they're hiding into the bunkers, and they want to create this situation. But at the same time, the moment that we completely surrender to completely this sort of tyrannical acts, we are done. We are doomed forever. Our next generation is going to be complete slave. We cannot let this happen. People before us died, gave everything they had to give us some sort of basic rights that, of course, as you said, every gun laws in the last, I say, since 1934 was the first really slap on our face with the National Firearm Act, that they started to tell us how many inches we can have a gun, but that's another story. But now it's completely to a new level. And that's why I say, I'm doing this show, I want you to know, and probably my listeners already know, I don't really want to be on the air, I don't care, okay? But I use this as an opportunity because I believe it's my duty. As a new American, I didn't take the same oath like you as a military, but I took a similar oath to defend this republic, the moment that I became a citizen, okay? A naturalized American. And I tell you, this is the best I can do right now. I want to inform and spread this message to everybody's listening, not just through this station, but also through the internet. We need all of you. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, if you're gay, transsexual, bisexual, Mormon, Muslim, whatever. If you believe that this is a country that we belong, that we want to defend for us, for our children, we gotta prepare because we are all under tyranny now. And this is a soft tyranny, but pretty soon we're gonna face hardcore tyranny. And I tell you, my family is from Italy. I was born in Italy, and we saw what means fascism. What we saw when people break into your homes at night and they drag you out and they fill you up with oil of resin, or they burn your books, or they beat you up because you don't stand up in front of your dictator. Okay? And I don't want this to happen here. And I saw the communists after. So I tell you, I smell it like I never could imagine. It's in my DNA. And we are so close now, guys, that I need everybody of you. We need every one of us. So that's why I want to bring you in. And even if you say, okay, this is just a book, like, guess what? It's something. Unless you're going to join tomorrow, you put your 5 years in the military, you got some basic training, you better start to do something. And just because you bought your rifle, you got your 1,000 rounds under the bed, that's not going to make it. We need much more. Chad, sorry for my rant. Sometimes I get kind of emotional. Give you the floor. Whatever you want to say, go ahead.
Yeah, final word. I appreciate that. I echo and agree with what you've been saying. Having a rifle and having 1,000 rounds under the bed, having your food storage, having first aid, having those types of supplies are great. First step, you got to get the training. Training is key. You got to get some knowledge on how to use it, how to patrol. You've got a weapon. You've gone to the range. You sat at a bench and you've punched holes in papers. Do you know how to shoot while you're running? Do you know how to shoot while you're prone? Can you do it under pressure? Have you ever shot at a human? If you haven't, it's difficult. And you've got to resolve now that you can do this, that you're committed before the time comes. You've got to commit now and get your soul right with God or whatever you believe in before the time comes. Because if you wait till the last minute to do it, you're going to falter. It's just going to be that much more difficult.
Exactly.
So my encouragement to your listeners is to get prepared, and that includes purchasing whatever you need to purchase to round out your preparations, but then get the training that you need. And I hope, and my intent is that Driven in the book are a tool to help wake you up and help you what you are lacking. Sometimes you don't know what you're missing, and so you don't know what you don't know. And hopefully this book will show you that you don't know it all, and say, hey, you know what? I need to get extra training on this, or hey, I didn't even know that this was something I needed to get trained on. Hopefully it wakes you up. That's the goal. And I appreciate the time being on air, and look, maybe you can have me on again in the future, but I'd be happy to come back. And we are going to be filming the sequel for Driven this spring, and hopefully that'll be ready for production release this summer. And God willing, we're all around to watch that come summertime.
Yes, and as a friend, even I don't know you, I consider a person. I know that you generally try to do the right thing, and I consider you a brother in freedom. Okay, even I never met you before, but I know I think just knowing what you do, you're doing the right thing. In my opinion, we need people like you right now. I'm on the show. I have one thing. I always say everything I think in a constructive way, and I want to tell you this. Because I love your product, I like what you've done, but I would like to give you some honest feedback to improve it, okay? The DVD. The book, I think, is great. I like the website, is great, and your webinar, they are top. Now, the only thing, if I can tell you, I'm not a director guy, and I'm not trying to pick on you, because, I tell you, just the fact that you tried to do this one, it's commendable. If you can, in the editing, there are some part during the movie, during the documentary, what you want to call it, that you have, like, for example, 4 or 5 seconds of it's kind of a nice kind of editing job. It looks almost like a movie, but it's almost slow in that way. And I was watching this with several friends. I like to have feedback from people, okay? And they like the information. They say, but the only thing, what would be nice if we could do the editing instead of doing these long pauses between and become almost too much time, more fast editing, little more cut to the bones. You know what I mean? Just some feedback I wanted to share with you from other watchers that we watched the DVD together. That was
I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think our sequel is going to hit the nail on the head with your feedback. It will be much more action-packed and fast-moving. Just a little preview on that one. This one, the first one, is bugging out, tactical driving, first aid, strengthening your retreat, conducting foot patrol and long-range reconnaissance, and mission planning. The second, the sequel to it, our second DVD, is going to be based on escape and evasion, and then also tracking.
Wow.
The other side of it. So you will be able to turn the cards on someone else and be able to track them. We've got Freddie Asuna, who's widely recognized as one of the top trackers in the world.
Wow.
Is going to be on the video, and I'm really, really excited. I just finished meeting with the director. I'm the producer. Just finished meeting with the director, and I'm super stoked for the second one. And I think if we missed the head at all, I don't think we did, but yeah, I can agree with you that there are some slow parts. But I think we're going to take care of it in the sequel, and it'll be.
And I tell you, I tell you this because I want you successful. I want people that sometimes people stop. I don't stop at these little details. I go straight to the point. I try to bypass all this. I didn't buy your movie because you're Steven Spielberg. Okay, I couldn't care less.
Oh,
okay?
And we're not Hollywood.
Exactly.
And I don't say that I am. But the whole point of this is for training.
Exactly.
We tried to present it in a fun, exciting way that makes it palatable for people to understand. But yeah, we're not a Hollywood.
But Chad, let me tell you,
this isn't made for the big screen. But
Chad, let me tell you, you got a great production. I mean, the audio is great, the quality of video is great. Okay, all the elements that you have in your cake is a good food. It's good ingredients. Okay, it's top quality. The only thing is in the execution. I mean, something that people sometimes they like to show off their little skills in to different artistic editing. Sometimes in this type of topic, what I would suggest, since this is not like some sort of independent movie for some sort of festival. This is about go straight to the information. Little less slow times could be much more well received. That's my only opinion. I tell you that because I know a lot of people like the products, but they always say, hey, could be nice that you get a little faster there. We don't need to watch all these 5 seconds or 4 seconds between. And I know you can do, and you just get this as an productive and constructive critic, but I love the stuff you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing, by the way. Before I let you go, we speak a lot here about guns and different things and training, but normally I don't talk enough, honestly, about body armor, and I'm glad you're the guy, because I always say, when I bring you people here, I want to bring you good quality stuff, And you're not a sponsor, but I'm just bringing you because I want people to have a chance to buy what they need. Please, if somebody wants to start to have the basic body armor for their basic, gear, carrying like an AK-47 or an AR-15 platform, what we got, affordable stuff, what is the basic package you can recommend?
So I'll be happy to talk about that. We've probably got some people that are thinking, hey, I don't need body armor. That's not part of my plan. But let me tell you, my philosophy is if you've purchased a gun and you've purchased it for self-defense, I think that body armor should be part of that plan. It fits into it. Why? If you think you're going to be shooting at somebody's probably going to be shooting back at you.
Exactly.
And if somebody's going to be shooting back at you, you need to have some sort of cover and protection, and body armor is one of those ways to mitigate the threat and provide additional protection for you. So body armor that we sell is designed and modeled after the Special Forces body armor that the United States military uses. It's not what you see the regular infantry guys that are covered from head to toe with groin protection and shoulder protection and all that stuff. What we're basically doing is we're winnowing it down to the upper torso. So you've got chest protection that covers your vitals, your heart and your lungs, front and back. We also sell side armor. A basic package that we've got is going to cost under $400. We've got a package that includes front and back body armor with a vest, with magazine pouches, that like for an AR-15 or something like that, and a first aid kit, a tactical IFAK that's got a tourniquet, blood clot, all the stuff in there that you're going to need, and it's under $400 for all of that. So in my opinion, it's very, very affordable. You're going to spend $1,000 setting your rifle up. Half that for your body armor and all of the accessories that you're going to get with it, I think is a great deal. InfidelBodyArmor.com. We're one of the few companies that do offer a lifetime warranty. All of our body armor is manufactured in the United States, and we have next day shipping. Any order over $100 ships for free, and we get it to you as quickly as possible. I think it's a great value and a veteran company that you can trust.
And very good. And, people understand, this type of plugs that we have inside, what type of, the different type of protection. Can you give just the basics, what type of protection level they get?
Sure. Yeah, there's three different types, three main types. Police officers that you see walking around day to day, they wear Kevlar. It's sometimes concealed underneath their uniform. Sometimes it's on the outside, but basically an aramid type material. One of the big names is Kevlar. That armor is designed to stop only pistols. As of today, you're about 1 million times more likely to be shot with a pistol than you are with a rifle. Now, when it hits the fan and all hell breaks, excuse me, I don't know if you need to edit that, but when it all breaks loose, and when it hits the fan, I believe that rifles are going to rule the day. Just like in the military, we don't shoot with pistols. We don't give pistols to our infantry. We give them rifles, and you're going to want to stop a rifle round. So your Kevlar that the police officers are wearing, that's not going to stop a rifle. That's considered level 3A, level 2 or level 3A. And you, to get to the rifle protection, you got to move up to the next level. That's level 3 or level 4. There's a couple different materials that can stop it. One of them is ballistic steel. That's one of the things that launched our company, was a ballistic steel. It's the same steel that they use to armor up Humvees and APCs in the military. They even use them as targets. So a lot of steel targets are made from ballistic steel, AR-500, AR-550. They're strong. You can shoot them and shoot them and shoot them, and they'll just repel bullets all day long. Great. We have a lightweight level 3 as well. These will stop the M855, the AK-47s, pretty much any round out there. They're lightweight. It's a hybrid between Kevlar and ceramic. It kind of mixes the two. And then the last one is level 4. That's the highest level that you can buy right now. It will stop an armor-piercing 30-06. That's what it has to be rated to.
Wow.
To stop that armor piercing. So to get the highest level 4, it's still very affordable. About, for the whole vest and everything, you're looking at under $600. But to get your foot in the door, you can start with level 3. If you feel like you need to upgrade, you can spend about $100 more to get to level 4. So
exactly.
It's really... Those are the types of armor, that are available.
How many
I
pounds?
recommend somebody get a level 3 or a level 4.
But Chad, how many pounds, for example, for a level 3, the 2 plugs, because they're kind of, they can be a little heavier. How many pounds we're talking here for the old gear?
Well, I'll give you a range, and it depends on what sort of armor that you're getting, but you can go from about 12.5 pounds for the whole vest, front and back plates, up to about 22 pounds front and back, all the way around. So it depends on what type of armor you put in it. The ballistic steel plates, like I mentioned, the ones that people use as targets, those are the heaviest. They're also the cheapest. The next level, level 4, those are about a pound lighter. So it's not that much heavier, but they weigh about 9 pounds per plate. The level 4 plates are about 8 pounds per plate. And then our lightweight plates that are level 3 plus, those weigh in at about 4.5 pounds.
Wow.
So, and we've got different sizes too. If you're a smaller person or a woman, we've got smaller plates for you that are going to weigh in the 11 to 12 pound range. And for the bigger guys, obviously you're going to need a little bit bigger plate, but you should be stronger to be able to carry it. Overall, that weight between 12 pounds and 22 pounds is very doable. Our military right now, when they put on a vest, when they load up all of their ammunition and everything, the water and all that, they're pushing 40 pounds.
Wow.
So, you gotta be physically fit. This isn't for the person that's, out of shape or ill, or, you gotta be physically fit to be able to be a fighter. Fighting in the military is a young man's game. It's a fitness thing, and fitness is another area I didn't think we touched on yet, but to be prepared, you need to be physically fit. Running is tough. Shooting and running and getting down and getting up and getting down and getting up, and you're going to be out of breath before you know what happens. And you need to be physically fit in order to survive. Even if you get shot, a person who is fit is more likely to recover than a person who is unfit.
Exactly.
You're just going to be a healthier person. You're more likely to recover faster and survive whatever happens to you. You deal with stress better too when you're physically fit. A person who's out of shape, drinks soda every day and hamburgers and blah, 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 they're going to have a lot more stress and deal with stress a lot worse than a person who's physically fit, running, exercising every day.
I agree. No, this is so important, because if you're serious about that, you cannot just think that you're watching TV all day and you dream that you become Rambo when the situation happens. You got to really start to change your lifestyle. I'm not going to tell you what to eat or what type of workout, but you got to understand that the best thing you can start to do, start to at least walk around your block and start to see if you can walk more than 5 miles. That would be a good start. Listen, I really appreciate you, and I want to thank you again, and please keep me posted, and I hope the listeners understand this is an opportunity I want to share with you. I'm not saying that everything's going to start and ends here, but at least you have a starting point. Document yourself, learn now these skills, communicate, create a network. And speaking about network, I want to say one thing. There is a website that I always talk on my site. I started this website. It's my website. It's free for everybody. It's a community. It's called freedomlovers.us. Freedomlovers.us. And it's not just for dating or find your best friend. It's also to find like-minded people who believe in freedom and want maybe to network. So please don't miss this opportunity. This is my act of love for this show, freedomlovers.us. No information really request, just the basic, no credit card. It's 100% free. freedomlovers.us. Listen, please keep me posted, Chad. Whenever you got new products and new items, I really appreciate it, okay?
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. And that was Chad Cooper, and you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Before I finish, I want to say, seriously, the time is short. I want to use these hours the best way I can. And I dream, if every law-abiding American who believes in freedom would have a plan, would have some training, preparation, and we would at least unite in this way. We could be a country that nobody, no dictator, no invasion, no tyrant would ever take over. Okay, no terrorists or whatever they want to create. We're never going to be taken over, but we need to prepare. We cannot just rely on the government to defend us at all. That's why I bring you this information. Now, also speaking about information and news, what's happening with Obama. Executive orders, I don't even want to waste too much time, because at the end of the day, all we must understand is this: regardless where you are on the issues, regardless if you think that, you're a Democrat or Republican, if we still believe that we are under rule of law, okay, that we're supposed to have a republic where Congress makes the laws, and then we can debate if they're right or wrong. But now we are to a new level. We have a man who is completely usurping his authority and is getting to a new level. That's what happens like when, Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon, when he became a tyrant, okay? And that's exactly when Mussolini marched on Rome. That's what's happening. And if you're a Democrat, you should be very disturbed about this. Because these executive orders, I don't care how many tears this man is doing. I don't care how many times, he's trying to tell you that after all, because Congress is not going to do it, he must do it. Because the children need it. No. This is exactly the excuse of every tyrant. We are in this republic, Congress should pass the laws, and Obama should enforce them. That's it. Not only Obama is not enforcing the laws, but also start to write them now. So think about it. What if next time is going to be a Republican president doing this stuff? And they're in this bed together. Republicans, Democrats, they're doing it together. Because if the Republicans let this happen, they know it. Because now it's creating a precedent for the next Republican president to do the same stuff. And maybe it can be even worse than worse. So it's time for you Democrats now to start to speak up. Regardless where you stand on the Second Amendment, understand what this guy is doing is unconstitutional, is tyrannical. And next is creating the precedent for the next president to do the same. And you may not like next time what the next president executive order, unconstitutional executive order is going to be. So please, let's stop doing this party stuff. And let's understand that we're all under attack right now. I really mean it. Now, another thing very important. Other things are happening. You hear in Europe, women being raped during Christmas. I will talk about more next week. I want to bring my friend from Germany. Tell us more. This is especially for the women, the ladies, or the weak people. That's why the gun is called the big equalizer. This is time, don't leave your gun at home if you have it. Especially if you live in the state of Arizona, don't think that your gun is at home and things can happen to any one of us. But if you're a woman, you should be really concerned now more than ever. Obama is bringing 100,000, refugees from Syria. Look what happened in Cologne just last week during the first of year, the holidays. How many rapes in that night? And they were all from these refugees people. Okay? And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are also decent people among them, but the point is, unfortunately, their background, the cultural background, these are single men, and they come thinking that they are still in the Middle Ages, and they treat women like camels. That's the bottom line. So you need to start to realize that maybe even in your community you may be a target. And maybe not just from the refugees. We have also our local scumbags, don't get me wrong. But start to train. Because when now this critical situation is going to start to appear, the first people that are going to be suffering is going to be the weakest and the defenseless. So if you're a woman, if you're a person with, some sort of handicaps, or you're older and you're elder, you better start to understand that the gun is the big equalizer. And you must not just own it, but you must carry it lawfully, whatever, depends on which part of the world you live. But if you're in Arizona, you have no excuses. You should have the gun everywhere it's allowed in Arizona, okay? That means almost everywhere. And train, okay? Remember that. That's why I want you also to remember this. Please go to my website, handguntraining.tv. I'm going to be ready next few weeks to release my book. It's called Handgun Training for Self-Defense. It's going to be only $2.99, more than 100 pages with photos. It took me almost 2 years to put it together. And I'm not here to say that I'm an instructor, but I'm a professional student that I know probably more than the average. And everything I learn, I share with you for the price of a coffee, okay? So go to handguntraining.tv, join my newsletter, and I'll let you know as the book is ready. At least I can share that with you. Now, speaking about sponsor, guys, this show, as you hear, the guy I had before, the guest, Chad Cooper, is not my sponsor, and he can confirm that. He's a guy that I believe he has a good product I wanted to share with you. And I didn't want to deny you that opportunity to know this information because maybe he doesn't want to be my sponsor or not. I don't know. I don't care. I wanted to bring you information first. But I need to keep this show going. I'm an independent producer. It takes me a lot of time to put all this information, finding the guest, and producing the show. I could make, much more better living at all. I don't need the show. I have my life, okay? But I dedicate this time for this cause. So if you want to support me, help me out, and you think the information I'm sharing with you is valuable, go to, please, Zanna, TRANNA.US. And you see, one of the things I do, I write songs and music. You can use any of my songs. Download any of my songs for just 99 cents. Even if you download a couple songs, couple dollars, I appreciate it. Like you buy me a coffee and this money goes back into the show. Now, be ready for our number 3, great information and much more love. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Here we go.
See you in just a few seconds before midnight.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and who love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Here we go, guys. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and on United States FM network. This is the hour about love. In this hour, I like to share always something that has a positive experience, or at least something that we can, tools that we can fight back. I already told you exactly last year when I started to take Protandem, this very unique product that I still take. And not only I take it personally, I share with friends and family, but also I'm very proud that I became a distributor. Since then, I've been so, I say blessed really, because I feel like it's almost, it's a gift for me to share this opportunity to see people around me changing their life, in their health, in their wellness, and also almost define, I'm not saying define because it's not like a magic pill, but let's say almost turning down for a moment unfortunately, the bad side effects of aging. And I told you, you can go, to my website, you can see protandemdistributor.us, what I'm talking about. You can see testimonials, go to the testimonial page. But it's funny because through this radio show and through Facebook, I am having all these new friends. I'm reaching out new people that I know, and we share most of our values. And also when I share things, I like to share also positive things, how to fight back the New World Order. Remember, the New World Order, they want us sick, they want us miserable, and they want us dependent, and of course economically broken. I believe that for me, Protandem is becoming more and more, first of all, something that is really improving and my quality of life when it comes down to my wellness. I'm 48 almost, 47 going for 48, and I tell you, beside when they spray chemtrails, I feel great. I feel like I'm in my 20s. I can do physical work that normally I used to do when I was in my 20s. But a beautiful thing when I see now other people that they test this, they try it, and then they share their experience. And why I want to share with you, because I want to give you the opportunity to find solutions. And I'm not telling you what to do. I just give you the opportunity to use your brain, at least to listen, and then for what? You can also maybe decide to try it out. Today I have with me a lady who was also my guest a few weeks ago. And she's a very interesting lady. She's very smart and politically involved. But also, when she came on the show, she wanted to try Protandim. And guess what? She tried, and she's back, and she has some experience to share. Her name is Renee from Indiana. Renee, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Luca.
How you doing, first of all?
I'm doing well, thank you. And thanks for the opportunity to have me on your show, and for the opportunity for introducing me to Protandim. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Yes, because I remember, when you were on the show, and I talked to you about this, because everybody's at different situations. I know that you have a change in life, and you have some sort of changes in your life, and you were trying to also find some new business opportunity. But also, everybody for me that is over 40, and I'm not going to say your age because you're a lady, but I know that we are changing, we are turning the clock to a new stage. And I wanted to share with you this one because I really believe that it's something that benefits to me so much, and I have so many incredible results also with friends, and I want to share with people that I enjoy, like people like yourself. So I want to tell you, first of all, how many weeks have you been taking Protandim so far?
I've been on the product now 15 days exactly, so a little over 2 weeks. And I'm 42. I'll be 43 in a few months coming up, and I honestly feel fantastic. Within 2 weeks, within 2 days, I felt this fog lift off me that was mental clarity came. And when I say that, it was almost like I was living in a fog or a haze. And within 2 days of taking the product, I actually felt like the colors were vivid, and I had this sense of calmness to my thoughts that I hadn't had in some time, which within 2 days I found that absolutely phenomenal, that, a product would actually almost give me a peace of mind and slow down my mind. But within 2 weeks, I can honestly tell you I feel fantastic. This product is really, like you said, it's an opportunity to help people, and I, for one, feel fantastic with just mental clarity, but also my physical aches and pains, and it's been life-altering for me for 2 weeks. I can't wait, to feel the effects of being on it for long term.
Yes, and you say something very important, mental, because it started for me the same. Something almost like I never had before, or at least I don't remember when. First of all, even in moment of stress, it keeps me completely in control and much calmer, almost like everything slows down, and I am, I don't know how to say, I am much more in control of my brain, and I have almost amplifying my senses. I can see better, I can, I don't even say hearing better, but like almost I perceive better what's going on around me. And more important, I start to feel a level of power, energy inside my body that it's almost strange. At the beginning, I must be honest, I thought it was a suggestion, because I had that pretty fast. I took my first pill when I was in Snowflake area, and I was driving back from there to Mojave County, and normally it's a 5-hour trip, okay? And I always fall asleep around Flagstaff. I need to go to sleep, or at least I need to step down and grab a coffee. I did my first ride without even stopping for nothing, and I was fresh, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought maybe it was just an impression. But I tell you, after the second week, I started to see something in my body started to change, at least also the level of energy. I'm able to do now, even the last month, of course, I didn't work out at all, but normally when I do my jogging, I can do the jogging with my boots and with my gun, with regular pants, nothing fancy. I don't even warm up. I know I should warm up. At 47, I can do my mile on my little running machine in 7 minutes and 5 seconds. And I tell you, for not a person who trains regularly, at 47, I never done that in a long, long time. So that's my personal experience, and on top, of course, the focus that you're saying. You also had some sort of a physical situation that really seems to improve you. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. Well, not only with my physical aches, that I had a herniated disc in my neck that was having some mobility issues. I also had hurt my elbow and couldn't straighten my elbow out. I haven't been doing my yoga in about 8 months because I hurt my elbow over the spring, and I'm putting my body weight back on my elbow. But I got to tell the women folk out there, the most dramatic transformation for me personally was my menstrual cycle. And I only say this, and I know it's like more information for people, but if you've ever suffered this, you totally understand what I'm saying when you're on a couch with a heating pad and a bucket because you feel nauseated. This is the best, seriously, I've felt in 20 years. I never once was down. I never had the debilitating moment of even once feeling chronic, lifeless pain of just feeling like you're going to die because you're hurting so bad. So, to me, I can honestly say that alone was enough for me to just absolutely be totally impressed. The first time in 20 years that I have not been on a couch with a heating pad, and honest to goodness, that sold it for me tremendously. Like I said, if any woman has ever suffered that, they understand the mental, physical, emotional strain it takes on you when you just don't feel good. So, I mean, that alone to me was my biggest jump up. You know, the physical aches you get to live with, but, you know, every single month when you're just like dreading it because you know you're going to be down and physically ache and sick and hurt, and none of that. And the doctors want to put you on pills and give you shots, and, you know, they want to do everything under their power, and I don't do that stuff. So I had suffered with it, and I can honestly say that the transformation on being on that as long as I have, and I feel fantastic. Thank you so much, Luca, for ever introducing me to this product. I wholeheartedly, sincerely high-five you.
Thank you. No, thank you for investing on yourself, because I tell you, I can show to friends the fountain, but not every time people wants to drink, and I'm not going to dare even push it, because, you know, I tell you, I really believe this, you know, in my life, differently from people working for the government or the government, I always had to work for my own reality, okay? Like many of us, you know, we work for our money. We had to work. Private sector, we work. So my goal is always to provide a service or a product that people can appreciate it and pay you and also come back and get more. Okay, that's exactly the opposite from government mentality, okay? And when I found Protandim, okay, was me much more than just a business, I tell you, because I do many things for business, okay? I buy stuff and sell stuff, and I'm very happy what I do. This is for me about sharing something with people. They come back to me almost with tears in their eyes. And I tell you, I would like to go to the testimonial page, because I want to show them people from different type of situation, from fibromyalgia, from depression, from chronic fatigue, in less than a month, coming back with some incredible testimonials. And these are not people as seen on TV. These are people that I personally know. And sometimes bring me tears. And a beautiful thing, I'm not sharing something that only the rich can afford. It's something that costs less than a coffee a day, $1.50 a day, one pill. That's it. And this is no hocus pocus. I mean, you know that, Renee, the company is publicly traded at NASDAQ. It's a company that everybody can go there and check it out, LifeVantage. And they invest more than $40 million in this little pill called Protandim, that people can try it out and see what it does to their body. So that's, for me, was the most beautiful thing, to have people coming back with love and appreciation. And I tell you, that was enough right there, beside what it does for myself. But there is also another aspect. You know, I tell you, this is also a great opportunity for business, not to just get a job working for somebody. This is for creating yourself a career that in a couple of years people can become financially independent. You know the story with Rick. You met Rick Shamway, right? Over the phone.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I had Rick on my show last year, a few months ago, and Rick is a typical example. He's a regular guy. He lives in a small town in Arizona, and he always said that. I'm not even trying to say something that is private. You know, he had a business 5 years ago. It's a small little home business. I mean, private business, like a graphic design. And he was going out of business, and the economy stopped. He was losing his house. He was 6 months behind his home payments. Rick now, it's almost 5 years. He pretty much changed his life. He makes six figures at the end of the year. I mean, we're talking about $15,000-$20,000 a month, okay? Sharing an opportunity is something that is changing people's life. That's all I can say. So I know that you became a distributor yourself, correct?
Yes. Well, and what I also want to say is, like, you're doing your blood test online and stuff. That's critical, and I'm going to go and get my blood work done equally as well to look at the parameters of my work as well, which I think is great that you put your blood test out on the line to show, what's in the air and stuff, because it's so critical people understand that, we are being, drugged from the air to our water to our food, and the quality of life is everything. And like I said, I've been on this product 15 days, and I feel rejuvenated. I have this new vitality to my existence. And it even, like you said, it makes your senses more aware. I guess I want to say environmentally or I don't know. I can't say enough about the product, Luca, and thank you for introducing me to it from the bottom of my heart.
Now, listen, I want to give you the opportunity. I want to say this out loud, because this is, you are not here just because, of course, you taking the product. You're also a distributor, and also people must know, I am a distributor myself. This is not nothing, and that's the way you can support the show. As I said, differently from NPR, they steal your tax dollar. I have to work and find ideas and selling products that people appreciate to support my labor, my work, and the show. So that's the way you can do it. The beautiful thing about LifeVantage and Protandim, I don't even want you to buy the product from me. If you want to try it out, I want you to try the product from Renee. Because that's the way it's so beautiful. We help each other. That's something different from every business model. Normally at the business model, everybody's for their own and the best man or the best woman win. Here we are in some sort of a family network that we help each other. I sign you up, and I'm here to help you out. To learn about the product, share the product, and I want people getting it from you. Please, can you give your website?
It's antiagingreneeglobal.com.
Perfect. Antiagingreneeglobal.com. And also, I will put the link on lovegunsfreedom.com. People can find out your site. Go there, watch your testimonial, watch the video, learn about the science, because this is not just something that people can just, we made a special supplement. No, this is something that, first of all, it is one of the few products on the market that is documented by international and national independent peer studies from several universities. People can go to pubmed.gov, okay? That's the official website for United States Research and Science. And you put Protandim, and you will see how many studies come out from different diseases, how to improvements, what type of improvements, for example, in depression, or in fibromyalgia, or in heart diseases, in cancer. You check it out. But just to give you an idea, guys, this is not a medication. Intentionally, the company and the Professor McCord, the founder and the creator of this formula, did not want to go through the FDA, because after we have to go through doctors and, of course, become like another drug that with the price inflated. Instead, they made it as a supplement so everybody can take it. Of course, always consult your doctor if you have any special things. But there are 5 natural elements, 5 natural ingredients. This is not chemical, but the way they are formulated, patented, and somehow created together this new formula. What it does exactly, Protandim, it is not just like a vitamins or an antioxidant. This is like an activator. What it does, create enzymes in your body that start to say to the cells to start to regenerate and recreate the same type of shape when we were younger. And this is proven. You can see there is a beautiful investigative report on the homepage, also your website. I would like people to really go there, antiagingreneeglobal.com, and there is the ABC special report. ABC went to Dr. McCord, and they did a special test, and they took the product for the period they wanted to take for about 2 weeks, and they wanted to see the blood test, how it changed the levels. And you guys check it out and do your research. I'm not here trying to sell you anything. I want just to share an opportunity. Because what do you have to lose? I mean, seriously, Renee, people sometimes, I understand we have felt always in the trap that we always trying to be sold something. But when people are already sick, they try everything. Like, for example, I have the friend of mine, my friend from Michigan, okay, that his daughter Ken Rhoades, okay, was with me at the Bundys last year. And his daughter, she had fibromyalgia for 5 years at least. And Ken gave her a bottle. And not even 4 weeks later, I have her testimonial on the website. And by the way, I will post it also on your website, antiagingreneeglobal.com. People can see the testimonial of a person with fibromyalgia in less than a month. After Protandim, her life is changed. So all I can say, I'm sharing an opportunity with you, and we are sharing it together with people. So if people wants to contact you, there is also a phone number you want to give out or an email, Renee?
You can go to the Renee antiagingglobal.com, I think is another email. Let me just
antiagingreneeglobal.com. Let's go. Do you have the email there? You're right. I put, there is the email on the homepage, antiagingreneeglobal.com. People can check you out there. And also you're on Facebook, correct, Renee?
That's correct. Yes, you can find me on Facebook.
Perfect. I will post also your Facebook link there. So listen, that's all I want to say. It's an opportunity for your life, for your family, for your wellness, because we got to stay away from doctors. That's the trick. Okay, and then of course,
that is the trick.
And then if we can also find a way that we can be financially independent and make a business on our own with really little investment, almost nothing. I mean, we don't have any entry fees. They are not like you have the fees like for franchise. This is just you get a product, and that's what you have. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I want to give you one more minute, Renee, whatever you want to say about anything or Protandim, of course. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say Protandim has dramatically changed my life. I just hope everyone will take an opportunity for, like you say, a cup of coffee a day to totally give their quality of life that $1.50 a day, because it will totally transform their life. It's like it is an opportunity for everyone out there to live a quality life, and I'm just so blessed and thankful, Luca, that you introduced me to the product and to become a distributor for this company, because I do believe in the product after taking it.
Perfect.
Thank you for your time, though. I appreciate it.
Perfect. And listen, I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the listeners also who support the show, because I said before, we need your help. And I'm not going to just ask for donations like many shows do or whatever. You know, of course, that's fine. If you want to donate money, that's great. But I want to always give you something. You know, when I ask you for 99 cents, I give you a song, that the song itself, it's worth that and more. But the point is now, I don't even offer you anything. I give you an opportunity to check it out. And I want to invite you to try the product directly from Renee. I don't even want you to buy from me. So please, if you want to go to Renee website, one more time, antiagingreneeglobal.com. Okay? And you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. And now we go to the second part of Final Hour about love. How to Defeat the New World Order. Second part with Barbara Craig from Italy. Don't go away.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, and we are back on the air. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM. A couple Sundays ago, a couple shows ago, I had as a guest a great lady originally from Canada, but she lives now in Tuscany, Italy. And she helped me out to articulate some sort of, I don't know, I don't want to call it manifesto because it sounds like almost Karl Marx, that of course I can't stand, the bastard. This is about a freedom manifesto of freedom, how to stand against the New World Order, okay? And I will, by the way, upload this document this Sunday on lovegunsfreedom.com. I have Barbara, is helping me out with the English to make it even more professional, try to be more clear, and she's getting some great input, and I appreciate it. Now, I have Barbara back on because we want to finish the last 15 points about this. And by the way, this is like an open source document, okay? Even I started this document. I want you to give me the input to make it better, maybe other ideas. And I want you to download it and share it with everybody you can, okay? It's probably about 5 or 6 pages, PDF file, and it's some ideas, it's some input. I mean, after all, we gotta start somewhere. And I believe the individual has so much power, more power they want us, make us believe. So we need to fight back, starting from our individuals, and the family and our microcosm that we represent. The New World Order, they want to destroy that, the type of hope. So we need to fight back, and these are some ideas. Now, Barbara is back. Barbara, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, Luca. How are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good. I hope you had a great time, your holiday time, and we are back here into the fight. Try to share ideas how to defeat the New World Order, and I appreciate your help, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you, too, for all that you do.
Perfect. Let's go back. We stopped at point number 14. We were talking about find your faith. Faith is a very important weapon, and how to defeat the New World Order and try to thrive in this moment of difficulties. Now, point 15, in my little manuscript, or whatever you want to call it, I said, live into the, let's say, rural area. Try to get out of the big cities, because I really believe that the globalists, especially with Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, they want to contain us, pack us in these big mega cities where they can control everything we do, the movements that we do, they control grid. Of course, we're talking about water with fluoride and the food that we eat. So we need to, if we can, try to get out of the big cities and find a little place in rural America or wherever you are in the world that you can be somehow out of their control. What do you think about this? Am I crazy about it?
Yes, I understand that this is a part of one of the things that Agenda 21 is trying to do. Is trying to control everything about our life. And so one way to become more self-sufficient, which is one of the points that you mentioned in the document, is to move to a rural area.
Exactly. And also, the quality of life. I mean, let's not forget the quality of life, because sometimes people think, oh, one day I will win the lottery and I will do this or that. I don't think we need to wait for that day. You can start to enjoy life made of simple things, like, for example, growing your vegetables, or have a couple chickens, or just even enjoy the peace and the tranquility. Stay away from all this corporate control. Like, when you live in a city, most of the time you have all the city regulations, and all the stuff. So they tell you how much you must grow you can grow your weed, or what type of color you can paint your home. So I believe that quality of life for my taste, okay? I mean, everybody's different. I like to go rural. I like to go in the open space, and I like here, of course, in Arizona. But if I was living in Italy, I would go in the middle of nowhere, everywhere I could, maybe in the Apennine, or maybe in Tuscany, somewhere in a farm. That's what I would do. Anyway, that was a little idea. Now, point 16. And of course, this point, unfortunately, does not apply to the rest of the world, because many parts of the world is difficult. It's not possible. But if you're an American, we have a Second Amendment, right? And I really invite you to buy at least a rifle, train, and don't forget to buy the ammo. I'm not here that we need to advocate for violence, but I really believe that, unfortunately, that violence we will bring to us. They will bring it to us, okay? As we have during the American Revolution, Captain Parker, the captain of the militia, April 19, 1775, said this phrase: "Stand your ground, don't fire unless you fire upon, but if they mean to have a war, let it begin here." So I say, just be ready, have a plan, because the first thing the globalists try to disarm us, because after that, they will come after our homes, our land, like, for example, happened with Stalin, with Lenin, and all the different tyrants, and of course our pensions. So it's very important to, I believe, at least have the opportunity to stay free with weapons. What is your position on that one? I know that you're from Canada. Maybe you have a different point of view on that one. Tell me.
Well, personally, I have no experience with guns or any kind of weapon in my life, so I'm not really the right person to ask the question. And as you know, in Canada, we don't. Most people don't carry arms.
Okay.
So
From a
I understand that this is a very American issue, and I understand that's part of your Constitution, and that the people that are fighting for freedom in the United States are fighting on this issue because that's part of the constitutional. That's their constitutional right is to have a weapon.
It's also a human right.
Exactly.
My humble opinion, it's also became more and more, it's a human right, because the Constitution itself, especially the Bill of Rights, doesn't give us any rights. It just enumerates the rights. So what I really, I come out with that, I wish every human being, around the world had the same type of Bill of Rights. Because, think about it. History, even of course you live from a different background where, after all, Canada, correct me if I'm wrong, is still part of Commonwealth, is still under the jurisdiction of the Queen, okay? So, like Europe, nothing changed. Even now there is no more the king, guess what? They are still somehow the same type of laws and mentality. Subjects, they're never supposed to be armed. They have not that right.
That's right.
Okay, that's the fact. So even, of course, you didn't have that type of opportunity. I believe that from a philosophical point of view, every human being has the right, first of all, of self-defense, because after all, unfortunately, if you don't work for the government, or if you're not one of these globalist elite who has bodyguards everywhere, you are just like a regular person, like us, like me. We can afford bodyguards or the police always carrying us around. So we need to have the right to be defending ourselves everywhere we are. And more important, that was not even the real purpose of the Second Amendment. The real purpose was to have the last line of defense of the people against the tyrannical government. And we look in history, what happened when the government has all the guns. Look, for example, Mao Zedong. Look in Germany. I mean, the people die. Everybody who does not submit to this global or to this order, tyranny, no matter which part, the fascists, the Nazis, the communists, you die. They kill you. So it's vital, in my opinion, to have at least an opportunity. Don't get me wrong. I understand we are living in a new reality with drones and technology that can pretty much almost make us look our rifles like clubs and slingshots. But why they're so afraid? They are so afraid still to have we the people even just a regular semi-automatic rifle, because they know it. The moment that we stand together with the knowledge as a first weapon, and of course, as law-abiding people, we are not looking for trouble, but we have the duty to defend ourselves, our life, and our property. We become a threat to the New World Order. That's why I said, please buy a rifle, buy as much ammo as you can, and find the training. People say, why not a gun? The gun, of course, buy also a handgun, and also a shotgun. But you don't defend don't defend freedom with a gun. You defend freedom with the rifle. Handgun is just for personal defense and to fight your way to the rifle. That's the way it is. It's been proven by history. You need riflemen. So I hope in Italy too, I know people, they can somehow with permits get access to guns, but much different, much more difficult. So for people who have that type of right in their country, like in Switzerland, at least it's a privilege, but easier, use it. Now, back to next point. We're talking about, of course, the opportunity to buy a rifle. Now, find each other. 17. We need to find each other because, more and more we realize that this place is becoming a small world and we are isolated because not everybody, the masses, unfortunately, don't understand what's going on. And it can become a lonely place after we know what we know, and then how you can go back with the talk and deal with regular people that they still are in the matrix. Don't you have that problem to yourself when you go around, Barbara?
Yes, many people don't even know about the New World Order. It's considered in most circles a conspiracy theory. And even with the chemtrails, saying, look, that's a chemtrail, no, that's a condensation trail. It can be very difficult when you're in a position, as you are and I am, of waking people up and trying to share information. So anybody who's listening who knows about the various issues that we're talking about, I encourage you to share information.
Exactly. So we need to find people, my opinion, at least, we need friends too. We want to have a social life. And my opinion at this point is not more an opinion, it's a fact. I don't even share a coffee or a beer with somebody that refusing at least to learn, okay? I'm not saying that just because somebody doesn't know what's going on, I'm going to cut them off. But people, they're arrogant, and they're trying to fight back the evidence. I don't waste my time, and I surround myself only with people that we have at least the same, we don't need to agree on everything, but at least we know what's going on, okay? So that's why I say, let's find each other, and find a way to find each other. I want to remind also to the listeners an opportunity that I created as an act of love, a website. It's called freedomlovers.us. It's a free, completely free website you can join and find people who believes in freedom and individual rights. That's a good starting point. So freedom, find each other. That's why also we're here. We found each other like that, Barbara, through a common friend, Renzo. And even maybe we don't agree on everything, but we understand what's going on, and we are not people arrogant that we want to, just close our eyes to the evidence of this global new world order. So that's it's a good starting point. Now, point 18. Go off the grid if you can. I understand that many of us maybe don't have that opportunity, because sometimes if you live in a town or in a city or even in a state, like for example, like Florida, that become almost illegal now to be off the grid. But if you can, if you have the opportunity, I believe it can be one of the biggest weapons against the New World Order, to be completely independent. So try to find a way that you can get maybe a little place, doesn't need to be a castle, but a place that you can have the opportunity to switch to solar energy, wind energy, to generators, to get your wood stove, to have wood around you. So that means that you don't need to be rely anymore on the grid, especially now with this new reality that we know. When you're connected to the electric grid, you're going to be facing the smart meters, radiation, electromagnetic field, pollution, all these things. So if you can, if you have a budget, look into that. Go off grid if you can. What do you think about that? Is it too extreme?
No, actually, I thought about this myself for about a year or so of getting a place off the grid. I also like living in the country. I know it's not for everyone. Some people love the big city, but I think that if they do impose this new carbon tax on our use of, I believe it's on our use of petroleum, then our energy costs will be skyrocketing, as you said in the document.
Exactly.
The new carbon tax. And so if we can be self-sufficient, not only will we save money, but we'll also reduce our carbon footprint, which is the amount of pollution that we create.
But listen, that's the thing, as I said, we don't need to agree on everything. In my opinion, first of all, they want to tax us because we breathe CO2. Now EPA, the Obama EPA, without any type of Congress approval, they made it like a pollution. I'm not a scientist, but I remember when I took biology classes at school, I remember that CO2 is an important, vital element for plants to create, to thrive, So now they want to make the governments of the world, they tell us that CO2 is a pollution, where we know, by the way, the United Nations altered and completely did a fraud on the documents of the numbers and data. But the scary thing is, the same government that said that we need to breathe less and, tax us for everything we do, that's pretty much the solution, like at the time of the Pope. Think about the time of the Pope during the Borgias, when 1600 the Pope said, hey, the indulgences, so you pay me a tax and you go to heaven. Now, we pay a tax to what is his name, Al Gore, and to the United Nations, and we're going to be, saved and we go to heaven. The point is, meanwhile, these bastards, they spraying us all day with billions of gas, of pounds, of whatever, gallons of propellant jets with this weather modification. They are creating more pollution than probably all of the humans put together in a lifetime. And they're telling us that we need to be taxed for what we do with the CO2. So I'm sorry, I don't buy the CO2 stuff, but I believe that, yes, they will tax us, and they will make our life miserable, and they will create a futuristic society that every time you want to decide if you want to heat, warm up yourself in the winter, if you want to eat, you must make a choice. So get you off the grid, get whatever you can to be independent, because the next few years, they will pretty much destroy us financially with this carbon tax. Now, say no to smart meters. What do you know about the smart meters, Barbara? You're pretty educated to that one. What do you know?
Well, I know that the smart meters are considered to be very dangerous by some doctors. And I posted some links on the dangers of smart meters and EMF radiation in the document for people who are interested.
Yes.
In Canada, and I know also in Germany, they've introduced the smart meter as something which is very positive, and so people who aren't informed, they buy into it. They think that it's a good idea, but it really isn't a good idea, because not only is it bad for your health, but it can actually check, how much everything that you do is monitored and then sent back to the central office, basically.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
So it's like control.
It's a control grid. And also they can pretty much now manipulate every activity you do. For example, with the smart meters, they can start now to regulate how much air conditioning you use, okay?
What you use for what?
Exactly. And then they can tax you accordingly. I had a show 3 weeks ago or so with a couple experts, really two incredible guys from Michigan, who they dedicated 1 hour with just explaining the smart meters and also the effects of what they can do on your health. I mean, talking about pollution, like you're living next to a microwave without shielding 24/7.
Yes.
The stuff it's diabolical. So please inform yourself. There is enough information out there, and I don't know, everybody has a different reality. I know in Europe probably you cannot say no. But in Arizona we can still opt out, still decide. So inform yourself, share the information with your neighbors, and say no to smart meters. Now, point number 20. This is coming from a former Republican myself, okay? Not because I believe in any party, but I really tell you, now it's time to do not follow political parties, no matter which party. If you're a Democrat, Republican, never follow your leadership, because they're all corrupted and controlled. And that's what I did when I was in a Republican. I was probably the most vocal Republican against the Republican establishment. And that's why I say at the end, I don't care anymore. I'm tired to be surrounded by zombies. But the point is, the globalists, they control like a master both teams. They have two different horses. They control both parties. No matter what, they do it the same. Look what they do in America. There's any difference between Republicans or Democrats? So what do you think about that, Barbara? I mean, is there any difference between Bush and Obama on international policy and wars and all this stuff? What do you think?
Well, I think as due to my activism, which I've done also, been active in the UK, I've come to believe that our government is being run by another government, a secret government. We don't know who it is, which is actually running the government, because if we bring up an issue in a democratic way with our government, then we just get a thank you for your concern, and there's no action that's taking place, which would be taking place if it was a democratic system.
Exactly.
They don't actually listen to what the people are saying. They don't take notice of it.
Exactly. No, this is very important. So I say, please do not be a good Republican, don't be a good Democrat, or whatever party you have in England or in Italy. Be a good person, believe in freedom and respecting each other, and say no to global government. That's for me the most important thing. Now, point 21, be aware of what you drink. I know it sounds like a bunch of people, oh my God. I'm not going to tell you what to drink. People, if you want to get drunk, if you want to drink whatever, this is not like I'm trying to tell you what to do. I just say be careful. If you don't know things, maybe we can share some information. For example, fluoride. Fluoride in the water, it's something that it's mandated in many municipalities, and they are paying billions of dollars just to add this chemical in your water. Why do you think the government is so concerned to spend billions of dollars for your teeth, for your cavity? You really think that? So fluoride is a poison. It was created by the Nazi scientists, and also during the time of the revolution in Russia, the gulags, they used fluoride in the concentration camps to subdue the population. It works on terrible on your health, can create cancer and deformation of the bones, but more important, it destroy your will. Are you familiar with fluoride, Barbara? Anything you can tell us about it?
Yes, my understanding is that fluoride is a neurotoxin, and that there is a combo effect the fluoride in the water, the heavy metals in the chemtrails, which you're breathing in, is in the rainwater, and then now in our food also.
Yes.
And then the mercury in our tea.
Exactly. You're right. The mercury is true. It is true. Very important.
So right now, one of the leading causes of death in the UK is Alzheimer's disease.
Wow. Yes. And even here in America.
Dementia.
Yes.
So this is a really serious issue, and not all the countries do have fluoride, but I understand that most states in the United States have that. Is that right?
Yeah, United States, now many states, they are waking up, but almost every state here, in many municipalities, we have fluoride. There is an awakening, there is a learning process, but still, regardless the will of the people, local governments, they are still fighting back and trying to enforce it on us. This is amazing. Think about it. If you take a medication, you must go to a doctor and get a prescription, okay? Otherwise, you go to jail. These bastards, they are giving fluoride against our will, putting it in water that we drink. You don't even taste it, of course. You cook, you cannot taste it, but this is a poison. So shame on them, and, people must be arrested, and for my opinion, they must be sentenced, or at least charged, and have a trial, because I don't care how you split it. For me, this is endangerment. This is like almost somebody's trying to harm you, okay? And I don't care if they're ignorant.
I'd just like to recommend something that I read, that there are apparently some filters and reverse osmosis filters that are capable of removing heavy metals and fluoride.
Yes. I by the way, I'm not here to promote it because it's not my sponsor, but I tell you, I have it personally. It's called ProPure. It's a gravity filter. It's very affordable. It costs about $200, and it has a very incredible system that completely removes the metals and, of course, the bacteria, and also removes fluoride. And for $200, and you can drink water wherever you are, bringing it with you, differently from the osmosis that normally you need to have, incorporate in your sink or stuff like that. This is something made of steel, easy to transport, and it's incredible. ProPure. Check it out, and I tell you, it's really worth it. That for me also was the solution. How do we defend ourselves? Be aware, and then, of course, try to fight it back politically, and trying to, of course, buy water that is not fluoridated. It better get your own filter, because even when you drink or when you cook, if you cook pasta in water full of fluoride and chlorine, that pasta is going to absorb it. So that's what we got to do. Another important thing, many people like to drink sodas. I'm not going to tell you what is bad or good for your health. I'm not here to do the health doctor. But I tell you guys, if you understand that these sodas, unfortunately, they are part of the problems. If you think now population having a lot of problems with diabetes, just because it's not because they are genetically propense to diabetes. This is about what we eat. If you keep eating all day corn syrup, that is completely also GMO, and with dirty water, probably it's fluoridated, that stuff, it's bad for you. I mean, there are videos out there, you can see what Coke does in your body after 60 seconds you put it in with the phosphoric acid. I mean, they make you sick. They make you dependent then on medication. So I quit drinking sodas like 7 years ago, and I never felt better. It was a beautiful liberation. And on top, from another point of view, think about it. These elites, at least the lower ranks, they are big corporations like, PepsiCo and all this, Coca-Cola, all these things. They are making money out of us. And we give them power just buying dirty water with a brand. So you wanna fight back? Drink good water, maybe drink good wine, but don't buy these sodas. And they need to realize that we, the people, we are aware, and we are not drinking anymore their poison. So that's what I like to do. What do you like to drink, Barbara? What is your favorite drink beside water?
I drink a lot of water. Unfortunately, I do also like tea and coffee, so that's,
listen, tea and coffee, if you get the good water, is good. I mean, it's natural. Yeah. It's from a plant. People can say whatever they want, but I think it's natural. The problem when you start to put, all the chemical additives that they put in the sodas, and the corn syrup. So anyway.
There's too much sugar, as you said, there's too much sugar in the sodas, and there's more sugar in one soda than you should have in one day.
Wow. And I tell you, sugar is bad, but corn syrup, and even worse, when you get like aspartame, that's another level of poison, like fluoride. Yes, so that's even worse. Anyway, then, point 22, support small businesses. I mean, I believe in free market, but unfortunately the free market that we have today, it's more corporatism. That means the union between corporations and the government. So we have these huge corporations, like they are pretty much destroying the real competition because they have the advantage to have the help from the government. I mean, if you are a small business and you don't do your accounting right and your business is not doing right, you don't have any bailout. You're going to go out of business. But big corporations, like General Motors or bankers like that, they always have the government bailout. That means taxpayers going to pay for it. So that's very wrong. That's not true market. That's not free capitalism. That's corporatism. So try to support, if we can, small businesses that they really create a real competition. That's something just on a small note. If you can, buy first from small businesses if you can. That's my personal opinion. Now, point 23, pay cash. I mean, are you aware that the New World Order, one of the goals that they have is to create a cashless society? Since they control the banks, they can control everything we do. So our goal is to instead to start to, first of all, unless you have a business that you need to do for your accounting or tax purposes, always pay cash. And more important, start to create a system, a network where you can barter and trade. I mean, that's why I also created freedomlovers.us, not just to find the date, but also to promote, share, and sell your products, your ideas. And more important, you can also trade. I mean, bartering is very important. What do you think about that? Is it a good idea to trade and barter services between people?
Yes, actually, that's been something that has already been going on for quite a long time in Italy. Bartering. I've often traded English lessons for various services.
Excellent.
So anybody who, and also there's actually some websites, I think, where you can do bartering for different services in the UK.
Excellent. Very good. I'm glad people are getting it out. It's a great concept. Point 24, stay healthy or at least right. I mean, I said many times, a sick population cannot fight a revolution. You cannot stand for freedom, but you always be dependent and you will defend. If you're sick, the same system will keep you in bondage because that's the point. They want us sick. So the sad thing, now we understand their plan that they want to keep us healthy enough just to work so we can still produce, they can still milk us like cows, and then of course they keep us alive with their chemical medication that they also control, they control the big pharma, and then they can dispose us when they don't need us anymore. Now with Obamacare we have this not even access anymore to medication and cure if you're over 65 or if you're older. They don't give you anymore the same type of treatment that we could have when we had a real private industry. So try to stay healthy. Try to stay healthy. Document yourself. This is our first duty as human beings. If we want to stand against the New World Order. And I put out a lot of keywords out there. GMO, vaccines, fluoride, aspartame, chemtrails, MSG, BPA, extra genuine meat, corn syrup, Codex Alimentarius. There is not enough to make I could do a show just with that one or a couple of these keywords. I want just to give you the keywords. Do your research. Point 25. Get out of debt. Debt is slavery. The bankers, they are controlled by the New World Order. The international bankers, they are part of the New World Order structure. And they want us in bondage. They want to control us. They want us to have the credit card max out, to buy the car that we cannot afford, a brand new car, payments till you die, and have a mortgage that you cannot afford. So you cannot even think to revolt peacefully because you must depend to the system. You must be in the system. The moment that they cut you off, they fire you, you cannot live anymore because you need to pay your payments till you die. What do you think about that? Is that not a good idea to start to live within our means and try to avoid credit cards?
Of course, it's a very good idea. And unfortunately, most people have a mortgage on their house and they have car payments and then they have furniture payments and various other things.
That's why I always pay my cars cash, and I always buy used cars. Even when I could buy brand new cars, I never do that. It's against my religion. Buy used cars and do not pay sale tax. That's my religion. Anyway, point number 26. Try to be a decent person, okay? The bottom line is, I'm not saying that we are all saints, but we are human beings. We make mistakes. But at the end, in our humanity, we must understand that we must try to be the best we can be. Because this is a battle between good against evil. And these bastards, they will try to tempt us. They feast on our emotions, especially when we are bad people, because that's how they can control, and more important, they can hire and bring in to their side other human beings. So they want you greedy. They want you, maybe having power and everything that could be corruptible. They want you somehow point to that point and try to get you to their side. So try to be a decent person. That's the bottom line. Point 27: love life, love your neighbor, have fun. I mean, if we get too involved into this like we are, and we don't enjoy life at the same time, we already lost and they already won. Our life is miserable. So I said, we do what we're doing. We're trying to fight a good fight, exposing New World Order. At the same time, we need to have a little bit of peace, enjoy what we're doing, having fun, and love your neighbor, because they always want you to be isolated. So try to always find neighbors and love your neighbor and try to be a decent person. What do you think about loving life in all this mess?
Well, yes, of course, it's very important to stay positive, and it's also very difficult to stay positive when you see all the negativity that's around, and when you're trying to share about all the negativity that's around. So it's actually really important not to get down about all the stuff that's going on. Exactly.
And try to have fun. Whatever you do, even if you have to do a phone call to the congressman, or write a letter to the editor, or go to a party or a rally, have a party, enjoy it. Point number 28, do not be arrogant. I always said, ignorance can be fixed, but arrogance, there is no hope. Okay, so have an open mind. I don't say that you must believe everything they tell you, but have an open mind. Because many times I had to open my mind and I say, oh wow, I had no idea I could even understand that. So have an open mind, do your research. Gold, silver, and lead. Point 29. Diversify your asset. I'm not trying to tell you here financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I tell you, as my personal opinion, try to stay out of the stock market, stay away from the banks, and try to, if you can, according to the part of the world where you live, try to invest in gold, silver, and lead. Lead means ammunition. They're going to be much more valuable probably than many precious metals if we're going to face what we're facing in the next future. Point number 30, do not be afraid. I made a phrase that says, wolves exist because of sheep. Remember, the New World Order has power because of our fears. So that's my humble opinion here. We need to understand that no matter what you think, we're not going to be living forever. So why we need to be afraid of these bastards? We're going to be gone anyway. So let's stand up with dignity as human beings and don't be afraid. What do you think about that?
Yes, I think that's a vital thing. Most people that I know are afraid, and so that is what stops them from taking action.
Exactly.
The more people that would take action, the less likely that we would be in the situation that we are right now, particularly with the issue of weather modification.
Exactly.
Which is creating a lot of weather disasters.
Exactly. The moment that we are afraid, we are completely slaves. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And I'm not a hero. I'm not a big shot. I'm a regular guy. But I came to a conclusion, with reasoning. I said, no matter what, we know one thing we have all in common on this planet. We're all going to die. That's a fact. It's only a question of how. Well, with dignity, as a free human being, or as a slave. So when you realize that, you're going to use this time left to you as a human being to do good, to try to do the best thing you do, and more important, exposing evil. I really believe this is just a transition to the next stage. So we got to do the best we can in this life. And why should we be afraid? We're going to be gone anyway. Let's please give them the middle finger before we go. Now, believe it or not, we're already at the end. But the good news is that the rest of the points, people, they will find out on the website, lovegunsfreedom.com, and then I appreciate everybody, even Barbara, you have a beautiful website. Please, I give you a website too. I give this document for everybody to be free download, upload it everywhere you can, and you can download this document about how to defeat the New World Order and share it with friends and family and make it better and improve it, create new points. This is a common cause that we have. So I want to give you the last 30 seconds. Whatever you want to say, but more important, say your website too, Barbara, please.
Okay, so actually on my website is a work in process, and there is a section, or there will be a section for activism, and I will add the document there. The name of my website is www.barbaracraig.org. And I would like to close with a little thought, which is something similar to something that we may have known when we went to church as little kids. Love thy neighbor as yourself. But my idea is love the world as yourself.
Very good.
If we only love ourselves and we don't love the world, then we don't take action to take care of the world.
You're right.
And the world, particularly our Mother Earth, really needs to be taken care of right now. And we need as many people as possible to join us to take care of everything.
Perfect. Listen, Barbara, thank you very much for your help, and I appreciate everything you're doing for everybody and for me. And please, don't go away, guys. Oh, yes, the show today is over, but don't forget, next Sunday, God's willing, I'll be here. You'll be listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom.